What up, what up? This is David from the 5-6 Kings. And guys, we're talking war. We're talking war every week until this war is over. Until this war is definitively won. All right, because people think it's just a war between Subway and Domino's. No. No. Because when you're at the top like Subway, everyone's coming after you. All right, it's Subway against all. And this week, I want to talk to you guys about Jimmy John's. Fucking Jimmy John's. Sub so fast you'll freak. Freaky fast, freaky good. Jimmy John's. They're like, if you're not close enough to us, we won't even fucking deliver to you. Because it won't be fast. And that's their whole thing. They aren't good. They're garbage sandwiches. They're just fast. They're like, we won't deliver if we can't make it to you in 15 minutes. Because no one should wait longer than 15 minutes for a Jimmy John's sandwich. That's what they're saying. They're like, our subs are so shitty that if you have to wait longer than 15 minutes, don't eat it. It's not worth the wait, guys. That's how shitty our sandwiches are. Because they have Robert from Everybody Loves Raymond doing commercials for them. Let that sink in for a second. I got on Subway for having John Lovitz do commercials for them in 06, 07, whatever fucking year that was. John Lovitz at one point was a big star. They have a fucking background character from an old sitcom. Robert, the brother of the main character on Everybody Loves Raymond. That's who's doing their commercials today in 2022. Robert from Everybody Loves Him. And their sales pitch for the Jimmy John's sandwiches is like, I'm the cold cut guy. I swear, he's like, I'm the cold cut guy, and Jimmy's John's is coming in and wrecking everything for me. Like, it's fucking bizarre. The scenario doesn't exist that they're painting. And it's called the black and blue. The black and blue cheese sub. And it's a roast beef sub with blue cheese. Roast beef shouldn't be black. Why is that their sale? Who the hell has ever been like, it should be fucking medium rare, red, pink, is what your roast beef should look like. They're like, nope, black. Just how everybody likes their roast beef. It's going to be dark. It's going to be black. And it's so bad that we're just going to cover it with blue cheese. Because who doesn't love blue cheese? You know, we're going to cover this whole sandwich with blue cheese. Jimmy John's is a fucking joke. Jimmy John's is a joke, and they want no part in this war. If Jimmy John's was smart, they'll issue a press release today saying, Subway's better than us. We get it. They're better, but, you know, we'll get you a sub real quick. Come to us. We'll be like a third or fourth option as far as subs go. That should be their press release today. If I don't see that press release, then it's an act of aggression towards Subway, and the retaliation will be swift, and it will be brutal, Jimmy John's. Guys, I want to give you an update on the great Tony Hawk. Dude's he's like 9 days removed from breaking his femur, and he's walking again. That's who Subway has on their side. This guy is like 50 years old. He broke his fucking femur and is walking like fucking less than 2 weeks afterwards. He's good enough for Subway, and Subway's damn sure good enough for Tony Hawk. They're better than Jimmy John's, and they're good enough for everybody listening to this and watching this now. How cool is this? We're videotaping it. Subway. Please, give us money. Enjoy this week's episode, guys.
This the Palm Beach County anthem. All my Palm Beach County niggas, y'all put them fucking guns in there and bust them shit. Bitch, I'm from Palm Beach County, that's where I'm from. Where niggas get gunned down and left slung from. Guns just for fucking round. This ain't a county for you bitches to come around.
What up? What up? And welcome to another episode of the unofficial podcast of the National Football League, the world-famous and critically acclaimed 5-6 Kings podcast. I'm David Breen. With me, as always, a man who is the furthest thing from a team player. A man who's only in it for himself. A man who, we're in his home right now. He so easily could have supported our brand. Chose to just change out of this shirt, put on his fucking 5-6 Kings shirt, but no. He said, I like the way I look. I look handsome. And this is what's going to take me, Braden Bullard, to the next level. Fuck the 5-6 Kings. I'm in it for Braden Bullard. Braden, how are you, man?
David, you couldn't have said it any better.
You're looking sharp. That's for sure.
I just thought, I needed to bring some type of business appeal because we got business followers on here.
That's what we're going for.
I'm going to switch the whole game up. We're going to start talking about crypto, real estate. Oh, and you know what? You need a mentor. If you haven't found a mentor yet, what are you doing? The 5-6 Kings could be your mentor.
Nope.
No?
Braden Bullard.
Braden Bullard
your mentor, all right?
could be your mentor.
Forget the 5-6 Kings. They're dead.
I know you're fucking tired of working your 5 to 9, right? The 5-6 Kings.
9 to 5. 9 to 5. Come on.
5 to 9, what did I say?
You said 5 to 9.
That's my work hours, baby. You know what I'm saying? A little extra on the top. All right, so if you're tired of your working your 9 to 5, you just need a mentor. You need someone that's going to help guide you in the right direction. Someone that looks spiffy, who thinks about himself, ego first, friends last. That's how you got to think. You need someone who's going to roughen up your feathers. That's me. I'm the guy to take you to the next level. That's why I'm dressed like this. So, David, thank you for pointing it out. Welcome to another episode of the 5-6 Kings, and get ready to, make some trades. We're going to be talking day trades, talking real estate trades, all type of trades, mentor trades, every type of trade you can think of.
Now, explain what a mentor trade is.
It's when you hire someone like me, a mentor, to help you trade. So I just sit there on the side. Yeah, it's like Mickey with poker. If you guys know who Mickey is, he's like one of the top poker guys, gamblers in the world. And he takes famous people and he'll just be like, yeah, let's go to the casino. I'll just whisper in your ear like what you should do the whole time. That's me. If you want someone whispering in your ear sexy shit and trade shit, let me know. Hit me up. Braden, I could be your mentor.
Well, there you have it, guys.
Yeah.
So I guess enjoy this week's episode. I'm just kick back, and I should probably get the shirt off the screen and just let it.
Just get the fuck out of
Braden
here.
sit center stage.
I got Tony Robbins coming in soon, so we're gonna be talking trades. We're just gonna kick David.
You're gonna go Tony Robbins. I
tried to think of
that's the person that you thought of. You're like, whenever anyone thinks trading in business, they think Tony Robbins. So I'm gonna have him coming in.
Thinking mentor,
All right, let's enough of this. Let's talk about the fucking movie.
Movie, baby. You guys know, as I said last week, we're going to be hyping up till Jurassic World, so here we are.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said it last week rather than keep the suspense of, why do they keep picking fucking Jurassic Park movies?
Yeah. So, we did The Lost World, Jurassic Park 2. Definitely a fun movie. No. You don't think it was fun?
Remember when, for Jurassic Park 1, I said how I had a good time watching the movie and preparing to do the podcast on it, and that's not always the case?
Yeah.
Well, this is one of those situations where that is not the case.
Oh. Well, maybe you just got something against Steven Spielberg.
No, because I thought the first one was great.
Huh?
Yeah, I think a lot of his movies are pretty great.
Okay.
It's definitely not something I have against Steven Spielberg. I think he is one of the greatest directors of all time. I think Jurassic Park 2, The Lost World, is a shit sandwich.
Well, little fun fact.
It's going to be fun.
No, there's a bunch of little fun facts. Steven Spielberg didn't really... I mean, I don't want to say he didn't want to do this film, but that was kind of like the whole thing. He took off 4 years before he did this film from directing in general. So after... Like how we said on the last episode when we were going over Jurassic Park, how he was doing Jurassic Park and then Schindler's List. After that, he took a 4-year hiatus, and he had to basically get talked into doing this film. And when he was talked into it, he basically made a promise that he's not going to do a third one, and someone else is going to have to do the third. So he basically was like, I was one and done. Now I'm 2 and done. You guys are lucky. You're bringing me back. And that's kind of what brought him back into his career was the second film. So, little fun fact.
There we go. I think he made such a bad movie that he was like, I got to rebound. He's like, I can't have that be where Steven Spielberg ends his career.
That's exactly how he felt, too, when I was...
That should be. That's fucking,
So one of the things he said was...
Had this been his last fucking movie, could you imagine?
So...
because it's... Guys, if you haven't seen... It's really bad. If you saw it as a kid and remembered liking it, great. Stick with that memory. Live with that. Don't ever watch this again. Because I'm now concerned... I remembered thinking Jurassic Park 3 was a good movie. I'm now concerned that when we do Jurassic Park 3, I'm going to be like, fuck. This is not good at all. Because this was not good at all. The first one was great.
Yeah.
First one was exactly how I remembered it being.
Yeah. And this is the... they even say, too, like, when people go over and review this movie, that this is, like, completely different as a Jurassic Park movie than almost every other Jurassic Park and Jurassic World movie that has come after it before it. So, and the reason why is because of the way that the way the story is around not just one group of people but multiple groups of people. So there's a lot more characters in this film than there was in some of the other Jurassic Parks. So that's kind of like the way that they structured the whole movie is just different than some of the other Jurassic Parks. But even Steven Spielberg, he was kind of like quoted in this thing I was reading that as if he was at the end of filming Jurassic Park 2 and he was like, man, is this all that movies has to offer me? Is this all that filmmaking has to offer me? Just silent films and roars, no dialogue, basically. Like, so he was obviously getting sick and tired of making films similar to this. And he was like, I want to do more dialogue-driven types of films, which, like, he ended up doing, obviously, with Saving Private Ryan and other films similar. Like, even when he would start to change dialogue-driven into kind of more of, like, I don't know, fun, unrealistic type of films like Ready Player One, it was still a lot more dialogue-driven.
Did he direct Ready Player One?
Yeah. Pretty positive. Pretty positive he wrote and directed it, but
guys,
I could be wrong.
Ready Player One, it's based off a book, and they're playing a video game the whole time. Fucking good.
Yeah. No, it was...
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, too. There was some aspects where I could critique on, but we're not going to get into it. But I thought overall... like,
great would it be? We just turn this... All we do is talk about Ready Player One. We don't even address Jurassic
Just get really
Park
obsessed into it. Like, dude, that part. King Kong came out of nowhere. But there was even similarities in this film to King Kong they were talking about and Godzilla. Like, the boat that they came over on.
About this movie?
Yeah.
I mean, they have the dinosaur chase Asian businessmen through the street.
David, we're going to get to that's another little fun fact.
Yeah, like
this movie is ridiculous at some point. Yeah, so that was the other... That was
I looked at it, I was like, oh, because Godzilla? I was like, you fucking racist?
Did you see the translation for it?
No.
It said, this is the translation, and they
say Godzilla?
They took out the translation because they felt like it was almost going to be too offensive. He's running and he like screams something in Japanese, and he said, apparently in translation, I left Tokyo for this. Like, trying to say, like, I left Tokyo because of Godzilla. Because being like...
Hey, Fenor keeps calling you and FaceTiming.
Bro, he's absolutely ridiculous. So we're going to pause this real quick. Right?
No. We're going to answer it.
Oh, we're going to answer it.
Absolutely. Hey, Fenor, we're doing a fucking podcast. Hang up the phone.
There you go.
There we go. He was in bed. He was like laying in bed.
Yeah, because he works at night.
What kind of relationship you and Fenor have to where he feels comfortable FaceTiming you from bed?
Does it all the time. Half of his life, I swear, is in bed. Because he doesn't have any sleeping schedule. So it's like sleep's all fucked up. So he's like trying to sleep for a couple hours of the day. Like,
and then he's like, let me FaceTime Brad. See what he's doing. All right, let's talk money.
All right, let's get... I know, man. Life, it's so weird sometimes, you know?
Yeah. So I'm going to guess the budget was probably really high. I'm going to guess $120.
$120 million? No, $120, right? So a little bit lower.
I mean, just let's...
$73 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. They had to have made a ton of money.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to say they made $200 million off this.
So... they ended up. Do you want me to tell you what they made?
Am I close?
No.
Let's hear it.
They made worldwide $618 million.
There we go.
Yeah. And
I mean, like, good for them. A movie as big as Jurassic Park was, there has to be a sequel.
Yeah.
I get that. You got to cash in. Make it a fucking decent movie, though.
yeah.
Don't make me years later have to do a podcast on it and be like, this fucking sucks.
So another little fun fact: it only cost them $8 million more than Jurassic Park, apparently, or like around there, to make this. So there's in 4-year difference, only $8 million more into the sequel. You would think it'd be like, predominantly more.
Well, I mean, if it was a good, cool movie, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, but at the time, it was one of the fastest growing films of all time. And obviously, it didn't, it broke some records with how fast it was grossing, and then it ended up, getting beaten. But it almost grossed, it grossed faster than the original Jurassic Park, but Jurassic Park ended up making more money over time. And
But of course, faster.
Yeah.
Because it's a sequel, like, everyone knew the first one, so
Yeah.
people were excited for this coming out.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Like, their opening weekend, I'm sure, was huge.
Yeah. And it's just crazy, though, once again, like how much money is always made outside of like the U.S. and Canada. So about $400 million was made outside of the U.S. and Canada. Can you imagine if you just didn't have that market?
Why does that surprise you so much?
Well, it's just, I don't know. Because it's
I mean, the population outside of U.S. and Canada is more than double.
Yeah, but it'd be like you watching a foreign film and you have to just read subtitles the whole time. Like, you're still going to enjoy it. Like, let's say, like, what was the game?
They do a voiceover.
Yeah, but like
someone like Squid Games.
Squid Games, yeah.
Squid Games did an English version.
Yeah, that's my
fun thing about the English version of Squid Games. Every single person sounds white, but then there's the old man who's like, "Oh yes, I played this game as a child," and you're like, "Why is he the only one that sounds like this?" Everyone's like, "Yes, I am going to play the Squid Game." This guy's like, "Oh, I play a Squid Game. Yes, it's so fun for me and my friends to play."
Now, is
crazy.
Is that someone who's trying to do that voice, or is that like an actual?
I have no idea. I didn't research who's doing this. I was like, why is he the only one?
But what do you think?
Do
you think that someo's trying to make that voice?
It had to have been a Korean person.
That's what I was
speaking
thinking.
English. Yeah. Had to have been. Otherwise, fuck them. Otherwise, fuck Squid Game for doing that.
That's my point, bro. Can you imagine, dude, like hiring someone that's like instead of,
they're like, you're gonna be a Korean guy, but we want an English dub over. He's like, okay, yeah. Oh, hello, please. Like, he starts doing that. Best case scenario.
And they're like, oh, that's perfect.
They don't realize not every other actor, not every other fucking voice person is gonna do that. They think this is what everyone's gonna do. Great, everyone will just sound like that. And then they're like, oh, fuck.
Imagine the audition process. It's a bunch of like white people or some shit, or just someone else that's not Korean behind the, doing the audition. And some white dude comes in, does it, and they're like, "Oh, that's great." There's like an actual Korean dude waiting out in the hall, and he comes in, and they're just like, just so quickly, "All right, go on, do it. All right, thanks, bye." It's like so submissive to the Korean guy, but the white guy, they were like, "Yeah, that was great,
great, nailed it,
nailed it." The Korean guy's like, "What do you?" Well, I'm not going to do his voice, but he's like, "I have an authentic accent. What are you talking about? That dude was fucking white." And they're like, "Yeah, but he was."
But he nailed it.
He's a professional. You did great.
Wait, they're like, you'll hear the old man and you'll get it.
You'll understand.
You'll get it. All right, let's talk. What are they? What are they saying? What are the ratings for this? What are the people saying about it?
Kind of low, David.
I mean, sure.
I know this is going to resonate with you. IMDb gave it a 6.5 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 53%. Metacritic gave it a 59%. And even for Google, a little low, 88%.
88's so high.
But like
little low?
We might have had like two,
sure, we've
three that have been under 90% from Google.
Well, way more than 2 or 3.
You think? Like, what are you thinking?
I think they're all like in the 80s. We've had Google user ones in the 70s.
I think there was like maybe 170. Right?
Yeah, but like that's such a huge 88 that's still.
It's
That means
reasonably good.
that means if 100 people got to choose whether or not they like this movie, only 12 of them didn't like it. What did you give this fucking movie? And don't sugarcoat your answer because you see.
No, yeah, I give it a 6.8.
That's high, man.
Yeah, and I knew.
high.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna think it was high.
I give it a 4.
Give it a 4.
This is a really bad movie, people. If you remember this, like I said earlier, if you were a kid and you watch this and you're like, oh, I loved all the Jurassic Park movies, don't watch this. Live with the memory of loving all the Jurassic Park movies, because that was my memory. I'm not done. I'm not done. That was my memory, and then watching this kind of ripped the soul out of me. I was just so upset watching this, taking notes on it. And I'm like, fuck, like this really sucks.
Yeah,
This really sucks.
It's like I felt like the story could have been good. And what's funny is, like, as we get into it, there's just when you're reading about it, you find out that they wrapped early again. Like Steven Spielberg he's just too good, apparently, to the point where and my point is, I think he just didn't give a shit enough. So he was just speeding through some scenes, could have made some things better, could have done certain other things just better, which I'll get into when we're at those scenes. But it felt like some things were rushed, and it felt like they could, I don't know, just could have done some things differently.
Yeah, I don't feel like anyone gave a shit about this movie. I really don't feel like anyone
besides
gave a
Vince
shit.
Vaughn. Vince Vaughn was just like super passionate about it.
I think he just showed up and was like, all right, what are my lines?
But there's got to be someone in this film that
Vince Vaughn's good enough to where it's just like, whatever, I'll make it work. Like Vince Vaughn, like, don't let me say Vince Vaughn's good enough. He wasn't amazing in this movie. he was fine. Like,
what's funny is
he's a fucking professional. He showed up and did his job.
Steven Spielberg hands out roles like it's fucking candy. He's like, oh, I got a boner watching this dude. I'm attracted to this person. I'm gonna give him a role because every time I hear about, and the reason why I say that in that weird fucking way is because you always hear these stories about the way that Steven like almost offers people's roles.
Please call him Spielberg or Steven Spielberg. You call him Steven, like it's
like,
your
I fucking
boy.
know him. Yeah.
You're like, Steven does this a lot. And I'm like, shut up. Shut up.
You read these stories so I read this story about Vince Vaughn, just like many other, like the fucking kid from the last movie, and the young boy from Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Where he sees this person inside, and it's like, yeah, it makes sense. Like, you think that they might be a good fit for the role, and then you audition them and this and that. But it doesn't seem like it's the case. It almost seems like he's like, yeah, I like him. I'm going to give him a role no matter what. So, and I could be completely wrong. It's just maybe the way it's written or something by whoever's writing it. But that's how it always seems. Because he saw, apparently, Vince Vaughn from a screening of this comedy called Swingers and was like, I like him so much, I'm giving him that role.
This comedy called Swingers?
Yeah. The screening of Swingers.
Yeah. Are you not familiar with Swingers, though?
No.
It was a very big movie.
Yeah.
It's a very big movie. He was the star. It was him and Jon Favreau.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but
like you said that as if like he saw this no-name indie film and was like, "Oh, I like that guy." Like Vince Vaughn starred in a major motion picture, and Steven Spielberg said, "Oh, I'd like to get that actor to be." That's how movies work.
For sure.
That's how that's how like a star like Vince Vaughn who had been in the movie like that. He's not auditioning for.
No, you should audition for everything.
He's not auditioning. That's my point. He's not auditioning for the fucking. Do you think Leonardo DiCaprio goes and auditions for movies?
Yeah, absolutely.
No.
So
no.
David,
A movie goes. Oh, we're making this. We want Leonardo DiCaprio to be in this. We're gonna go get Leonardo DiCaprio, make him an offer. We're not gonna have him come read.
No, but it's still not how it would work. I mean, they're still gonna be doing like all these different things, like tests. They're going to be going over tests. They're going to see like how the actor did. Like, even if they were to get like, let's say Christian Bale for Batman, like it's not always just so super set in stone. Like they're going to be doing tests with him. They're going to see like how he does and everything like that. And sometimes the actors might call off because they don't feel like they're going to do a good enough job to where they feel like this might affect their
different than what
careers.
I said there.
Yeah, a little
Christian
bit,
Bale for big time.
No, for sure. But
Christian Bale before Batman, not close to the star Leonardo DiCaprio is.
But even for Leo, you could say like, okay, well, he definitely auditioned for like Titanic and stuff like that. I guess that's like earlier on in his career. I don't know if he like auditioned for like Django Unchained or something like that, but
he did. Not. He did. There, I refuse to believe it. I think Tarantino was like, I want Leonardo DiCaprio to do a role. he either had the specific
Yeah.
role, I want him to do this, or he's like, Leonardo DiCaprio is going to have a role in this movie. We'll figure it out then.
Yeah, for sure. But I still think if you think someone's like a good fit for the role, you should still have them audition to see how they do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That's just the way I look at it.
Yeah, but
and I think that still is the case the majority of the time. Like, there definitely is parts where there's like, oh, this guy's perfect for the role. I know he's perfect for the role. And then they still get together and he still goes over it and he is perfect for the role. So there wasn't really an audition test. It was more of like just kind of proving he's
and in this
great
scenario,
for the role.
Vince Vaughn was like the fourth lead in this movie.
No, yeah.
Spielberg's like,
I'm kind of picking on
Spielberg watched a major motion picture and said, I want that guy to do something in this movie. We'll figure it out. And then he's the fucking photographer for the group. It's not like he's like, we're not going to have Jeff Goldblum in this one. We're going to have Vince Vaughn do that.
Yeah,
role.
it's like
he said he liked Vince Vaughn and said, I want him to have a role in this movie. That is insane that you're like, I can't believe he's just fucking throwing rolls around the place.
Okay.
Like he fucking watched the Big Frozen Gumshoe. It was like, I want fucking Bullard. Go get me Bullard.
No, but like that'd be hilarious if it is like that. He's just like such head honcho that it's just
Vince Vaughn. Swingers was a big movie.
I like him.
Swingers was a big movie. Vince Vaughn had a smaller role in Jurassic Park. Nothing weird about that.
Do you think there's any role that Steven Spielberg could come to you about that's just like where you would find it weird that
For
he would
me?
Yeah, like let's say like he's like, hey,
No. He could say, hey, you're going to be eating my asshole out.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
In
like,
the movie. And I'd
like,
say it's going to be directed by you and it's going to be in theaters and I'm going to be a major role in it. And he's going to be like, oh yeah. I'd be like, great.
Who's the dude from who's the main actor from like the Wedding, not Wedding Crashers, the Wedding whatever, those movies from back in the day? He played like a movie where he gets transformed into like a fucking hippo. But can you imagine
what?
Can you imagine though?
In the wedding movies, or is this different?
No, this is a
separate movie.
It's like it's separate movie, but it's like
Okay.
it's like the kid from those college fucking movies from back in the day that would be like about fucking love and hookups and shit like that. And they made like a bunch American Pie. I'm pretty sure it was. I'm pretty sure he's one of the main actors from American Pie. But can you
Sean William Scott, Jason Biggs.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know. And can you imagine though the director coming up to you and be like, "Hey, I really liked you in that movie. I thought you were great. I know I'm touching you a bunch. I thought you were great. I thought you were fantastic in it. I got this movie that I'm really thinking that you'd be great in. Just something about that last role just made me think about you with this and." And I want to give you, I want you to read it sometime. You go and read it, and it's about like you getting transformed into like a fucking hippo or some shit, like something that's just so weird and like you can almost feel like offended by it. Like, oh, I make you think that I should be a character that gets turned into a walrus. That's good to know.
Yeah, but how much money? Like you have a weird sense of pride with stuff like that.
It's just so like
the
how do
movie,
you
the
take
movie
it,
where you get a big actor and he turns into a walrus.
Yeah.
That's a big fucking blockbuster movie.
Some of you out there are going to be like, oh, I know what the fuck he's talking about. That movie is so bizarre. Imagine being that main actor and the guy coming up to you and be like, hey, I think you'd be great for this film. It's
the guy followed that up with, and you're going to make $7 million to do it. And he was like, all right, great. Yep.
But it might ruin your career.
That's fine. So you said $7 million?
$7 million.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
All right, so that's
I'll figure the rest out.
Now I know. I'm going to trust my gut with what David said.
Yeah.
Guy brings me Walt.
He watched this crazy... We're not moving on. He saw this screening of some movie called Swingers. I don't know. And then he was just like, oh, I want the guy... Yeah, I want the guy who starred in that big movie. That big comedy movie.
But what if you're questionable about the way the movie does, or the way or how weird the character is, or something like that? Do you ever question? Would you ever question something like that?
I've never been in a movie. You say this like I'm Leonardo DiCaprio, who's got a ton of options.
Because for sure,
I'm
Leo's
not
thinking about
dude.
that.
I've never acted in my life.
If
Steven Spielberg said, "Hey, I'm doing this movie. I think you'd be great for it." Sure.
I'm sure.
Oh, it's going to ruin my acting career? That acting career that I've worked so hard to build? Fuck out of my face. Steven Spielberg said, give me money to be in a movie. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't care if I'm a walrus. I don't give a fuck
why would
about
I
eating
care?
ass. Yeah.
Why would I don't have these acting aspirations?
No, it's a good point. It's just funny to hear someone else's perspective. I mean, no, it's just...
Let's talk awards for this fucking movie.
Oh my God!
You didn't know what swingers.
If you guys
was,
are an
and you
actor,
were
let
like,
me know if you'd be turned into a walrus.
I can't believe that like he just plucked this guy out of obscurity. He was only in this movie Swingers.
It's like when he's trying to get.
All right, let's talk awards.
Yeah. okay. All right, so they were nominated for some Oscars for Best Effects, Best Visual Effects. Didn't win.
And so this movie was 4 years after the first one. I'm going to be honest. I've watched them both in 2022. I think the first one had better effects.
I don't think so.
Because this one was just dark the whole time.
It was darker for sure, which makes it probably easier for the effects and everything. But there was like twice as much dinosaur action in this. And that was like one of the main things that they try to accomplish in this film, which I think they tried to like overdo certain things. Like they try to cherry pick certain things that the audience liked instead of developing an overall better story.
Absolutely.
So they were just like throwing in dinosaurs left and right. But yeah, I mean the visual effects, the CGI was probably just as good as the first one. They were nominated for a bunch of Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Film Awards. Didn't win any. Nominated for a bunch, but as this movie rating shows, they didn't win money. They did win the Boogie Award, though, in Germany, 1997. Look at that. Bogey. I like Boogie, though.
I mean, Boogie would have been more fun, for sure.
For sure.
Let's be accurate here.
Yeah, I guess you're right. They did win the Golden Screen Award in Germany.
The Germans fucking loved it.
Germany.
Do you know what else the Germans loved?
Uh-huh.
Executing Jewish people. So that's all you need to know about Jurassic Park 2, The Lost World. Go on.
They were nominated for a Grammy for Best Instrumental Composition, written for a motion picture or television. John Williams. God damn it.
Yeah.
He's always on point. They did win the Sierra Award for Best DVD for Jurassic Park.
They did not.
It's so weird. It doesn't even say Jurassic Park. Yeah.
They won it for Jurassic Park and Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah.
They were, because this fucking Sierra Awards were like, Jurassic Park 2, The Lost World sucks.
Yeah.
It's a bad DVD.
They were nominated for the MTV Movie Award for Best Action Sequence. Did not win. Bunch of nominees, once again. They were nominated for the Golden Satellite Award. That's cool. For Best Motion Picture and Animated or Mixed Media. And then they were nominated for the Stinker Award for Worst Screenplay for a film grossing more than $100 million using Hollywood math. That's a weird award.
I like that award, though, and we'll come back after, on the other side of this break we're about to take, and I'll have the winner of that award for you, because that's a great one.
Yeah.
The Stinker Awards for worst movie that grossing over $100 million.
Yeah.
Yes, that's fantastic.
But it's funny that they said using Hollywood math.
Being
like that's like in the title.
Being like maybe they didn't really gross $100 million. We're going to use Hollywood math where they fudge the numbers a little bit.
David, you got a good point there.
There we go.
Yeah. The Stinkers know what's up.
That's awards. That's reviews. That's budget. Dog shit movie we're going to be talking to you guys about in a second. Buckle up, because it's not going to be that fun of a ride, if we're going to be honest.
Yeah.
We're going to be honest. I'll make it funny because I'm just so goddamn entertaining.
I think it's going to be fun because it was bad in certain parts and it was just a lot of dino action, you know?
I'll make it funny because I'm just so goddamn entertaining. This movie sucks. The plot sucks. The story sucks. It just sucks. Stick around. We'll be right back. And we're back. And we're going to talk about Jurassic Park 2, The Lost World.
So excited.
So let's we'll figure out what way I feel comfortable. I'll move a bunch, probably.
Yeah.
Starts off black screen with faint growling noise for way too long.
Yeah.
Like, to the point I thought there was an issue with my TV and the picture wasn't coming on, and I was like, well, this is going to suck.
Yeah, and it was like...
How am I going to figure this out? And then the growling noise started getting louder, and I was like, okay, so the movie's definitely starting. And then the picture starts. I was like, okay.
Yeah, and I don't know.
It didn't add anything to the experience.
Yeah, and it didn't really sound as dinosaur as it should have.
Nope. It
right?
was like...
Yeah. Like, what they should... So how they should have started is kind of like in the, the first trailer, not the newest trailer that they have out now for Jurassic World Dominion, but you literally are like brought into the world of Jurassic World, like with dinosaurs everywhere. You're hearing like little chirps of all these different dinosaurs in the background. Huh?
So the camera saw you weren't watching. I was gonna sneeze, and then it went away.
Oh,
so I just mouthed to the camera. Sneeze went away.
Nice, good. God bless you anyway, David.
Yeah, thank you.
But
God bless you.
Thank you. But in the beginning, in the first 5 seconds before the dinosaur even runs into frame, you're taken into all of the sound effects. Like they did a much better job in this newest trailer setting up just sounds in the beginning. This was literally just some shitty growl.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that trailer, but I can't imagine they did a worse job.
Oh, it's actually pretty good.
I can't imagine they did a worse job at anything than this movie did.
Steven's like, just throw in a fucking line.
He's like, I don't even fucking care.
Just
all right?
do it.
All right, I found this nobody from some movie that nobody saw to be the photographer on the trip. Like, I obviously don't care about this movie.
Yeah, this is Vince Vaughn's peak right here.
Yeah.
That and Wedding Crashers.
That dude's done nothing since then.
Just Wedding Crashers.
And Old School.
Yeah, and Dodgeball. And
yeah. He's done quite a bit.
Whatever.
The Breakup with Jennifer Aniston, Couples Retreat.
Yeah,
Vince Vaughn's doing all right.
Yeah.
On the screen it says Isla Sorna, 87 miles southwest of Isla Nublar. That's supposed to mean something to us. Apparently Nublar was the island in the first one.
Yeah.
There's a nice boat offshore. There's this fucking Brit family chilling on the beach.
Rich as fuck.
With deckhand. We don't know that. We assume that.
For sure.
There's like deckhands bringing them champagne.
Yeah.
They bring the little girl a sandwich. Here's what I liked about this Brit family.
Okay.
All of them are very polite to the help.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Would you please get this? Thank you. It's not how it is in real life. They're like, hey, man, go pour the fucking champagne. Love this family.
Yeah. You thought it was sweet the way they portrayed that?
Yeah. They're great. They're all super polite.
Yeah.
Mom tells the girl, she's like, the girl's eating half a roast beef sandwich, and the roast beef wasn't black.
Yeah, there you go.
They nailed it.
Yeah.
They nailed the roast beef. And Mom's like, oh, don't spoil your dinner. And the girl's like, I won't. And she's like, we're having prawns. They're your favorite. She's like, I don't even fucking like prawns. Who eats prawns?
Yeah.
And then she's walking down the beach, and Mom's like, don't wander down the beach. And Dad's like, leave her alone. Let her fucking...
Give her a little bit of space, you know?
Let her wander the beach. She's like, what about snakes? Huh? Did you think about the snakes, Robert? And he's like, there's no snakes on the beach, which...
do you know?
Yeah, he's not basing that off of anything. He's just saying words.
Yeah. They're on the beach, and yeah, you might not have, like, snakes, like, on the beach, but she's right next to what would be a jungle, essentially.
Yeah. And she gets to the edge of it, and a little baby dinosaur comes up to her immediately.
Yeah.
And to make... so Alan from the first one, him and his wife or girlfriend or whatever their relation was, they're not in this movie.
No.
So, but to make him happy, the little girl, it's like, it looks like a iguana, like a lizard. And she goes, oh, what are you, some kind of bird or something?
And it's like jumping up and down. It's like excited to see her.
There's no child that would see that and think, oh, are you some kind of bird?
No.
Zero.
No. Yeah.
Zero. That's just like, hey, remember when we kept saying that dinosaurs were birds? Well, this little girl gets it.
But, like, she seemed, and, like, yeah, they seemed cool around her. And
it was just one.
Well, yeah, one. Yeah. But she seemed awfully comfortable with it, which I don't know if you'd be that comfortable seeing something you've never seen before.
It was very small. And she's like, oh, you want some of my sandwich? Braden's insane for having any issue with that.
Bro, you're just looking at a dinosaur, bro.
She's like, oh, but she doesn't think it's a dinosaur. It looks like a little lizard. She's like, oh, you're cool. You want some sandwich?
It's big enough to nip her if it wanted to.
She gives it some sandwich, and then like 20 of them come and swarm her. This is the point where you should not feel safe.
For sure.
When it's just the one, you're like, oh, you're a cool little thing. Here, have some sandwich.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
When 20 show up, she's like, oh, this isn't great.
No.
This is less than ideal.
And that's what happens
when you're ripping and throwing.
That's what happens, though, when your meat's not black. There you go.
There we go.
Yep.
That's not true.
No. They keep lining up like that anyway. Yeah.
They're lizards.
No, I'm talking about people going to get.
No one's getting the black and blue.
Sure.
Nobody's going to Jimmy John's and getting the black. If you're watching this and you've gone to Jimmy John's and been like, oh, let me get the black and blue cheese sub, you're a fucking psycho. All right? You're a psycho. Turn this off right now and stop listening to this podcast. If you're subscribed, unsubscribe. All right?
Dude,
I don't want someone like you watching this podcast. Unsubscribe.
One person's going to be like, God damn it.
Fuck that
guy.
hope we're at 317 on YouTube. I hope tomorrow we're at 316. Austin 316 says I just whooped your ass.
There you go.
I genuinely hope that's the case. I hope someone's like, fuck you, man. I love the black and blue.
Yeah.
And they leave. Mom and Dad here are screaming, and they run to help. When they get there, we don't see the little girl, but we see Mom scream, and then they transition very nicely to Jeff Goldblum.
What's that famous painting where
the Mona Lisa? We see.
No, not the Mona Lisa. where it's its name is right on top of my head.
I want to say it's called The Screamer.
No, it is.
Or
but
Scream.
I was looking for it's called The Scream, but I was talking about the artist's name. I forget the artist's name, but she literally does that face and she looks
Leonardo da Vinci.
Probably.
Monet.
Yeah, there you go.
Or Manet.
But she's making that exact face.
Van Gogh.
Yes, that's it.
There we go. Vincent Van Gogh.
I got to poke you like every 5 minutes.
You don't?
Spend
You don't?
time
I
around
wish
it.
you wouldn't.
It's gonna probably be one every 5 minutes.
So we see Jeff Goldblum. He's yawning, waiting for the subway. And then he gets on. He's wearing a cool leather jacket.
Yeah.
And some dude notices him, and he walks up. He's like, you're that science guy from TV, huh? He's like, well, I believe you. And then starts going, rah, rah. And then we leave, and guess what? We don't see that fucking guy ever.
And I'm telling you right now, they were in the editing room going like this. Do we keep it in?
It did not need to be in.
Did not need to be in at all. They were just trying to reinforce the fact that some time has passed and there are...
And that guy believes Jeff Goldblum.
And that Jeff Goldblum and other people have come out about what happened at Jurassic Park. That's what they're trying to show, but at the same time, they didn't need it. They didn't need it.
So we then have Mr. Pip from Seinfeld,
There
or
you
Mr.
go.
Pitt, who is, he plays a very wealthy man. He's Elaine's boss. In this movie, he's John Hammond's fucking butler. And he answers the door, and Jeff Goldblum, he's like, tell him I'm fucking here, you little bitch. And Mr. Pip's like, oh, right away, sir.
Yeah.
And then the grandkids are there, and they see Jeff Goldblum, like, Jeff Goldblum, oh my God! They run up, and they hug him, and he asks if everything's okay, and then they say not exactly, and walk away, and that's the last we see the grandkids.
Yeah.
They didn't need to be in this movie.
And they're gone forever.
Or they could have been in this movie more. Yeah, I don't think they're ever in another...
They
Jurassic
haven't
Park.
been in... Yeah, they haven't been in another
So
film.
there we go. Not exactly. We're out.
Yeah.
The suit walks down, and he's mad at Jeff Goldblum for violating his non-disclosure agreement. He wasn't supposed to talk about what he saw at Jurassic Park, and we're finding out that apparently he did. And Jeff Goldblum's mad that they lied about the people who died on the island.
Yeah, and the guy's like, you signed a non-disclosure agreement. We paid you a large lump sum amount of money. And he's like, I lost my entire career because of it. And he's like, well, we paid you all that fucking money, so you're good.
Yeah, the suit says he's taken over the company from his uncle and a couple. He's saying, John Hammond's going to fucking die. I'm his nephew. I'm taking the company over. The board's already approved it. Whatever.
He's got a very arrogant attitude as if he knows.
And the guy walks by him. Jeff Goldblum grabs him, and the guy says, careful. This suit costs more than your education.
Boom.
And Jeff Goldblum lets go. The guy keeps walking. Jeff Goldblum, Hammond he has like a hospital bed setup type deal in his bedroom that you see in movies with when wealthy people are sick because they don't go to the hospital.
Yeah.
They get treated at home.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh my God, he's telling Jeff Goldblum, he's like, you're right about everything, but thank God for Site B. And you're like, oh, what the fuck, Site B?
Are you fucking kidding me?
And he's like, yeah, we had this other island that we were breeding them on, that we didn't tell anyone about.
So we breed them there for 4 weeks, and then we bring them to the island.
Yeah, but he's like, but after we close the one island down, we just kind of let them fucking chill on that island, and they're good.
Yeah.
They're good on that island. Everything's good, Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, and Jeff Goldblum's like, are they contained? Like, how are they contained and shit? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
And here's what I wrote in bold at this point. I said, oh, man, this movie's going to suck. And I was not incorrect. Hammond's like, we're sending a team to go in and document them. Very low impact, strictly observational. He says the animals are extremely territorial, but the carnivores stick towards the middle of the island. So the team, they'll stick towards the outskirts. Don't worry. I'm not going to make the same mistake again. And Jeff Goldblum's like, no, like you're making entirely different ones now. Like this is such a bad idea.
Yeah. What the fuck?
And
it's
he's
funny
like,
how he always goes to Jeff Goldblum for like almost like moral support or some shit. And
and none of it.
Yeah, none.
Jeff Goldblum offers none.
No.
Jeff Goldblum's like, I can't believe it. Like, who are these fucking 4 idiots? The guy tells him the 3 people, and then he's like, and I'm hoping you'll be the 4th. And Hammond says the board is using, he's like, we're using the incident of that little fucking cunty little bitch getting attacked. That was on our island. And he's like, and they're trying to just go in and tear everything up and be like, no more island for you. He's like, so I want a complete record of all these all these animals thriving in the habitat by their own, blah, blah, blah. We're going to do it. And Jeff Goldblum's like, no, and I'm not going to go, and I'm going to call those 3 people and stop them. And then Hammond points out, this was bizarre, because Hammond told him the names of the 3 people that are on the island.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, and I'm going to reach out, and like has records on them. He's like, I'm going to reach out to the 3 people that you have going and tell them they shouldn't go either. And he's like, well, one of them's already there, and it's your girlfriend. And Jeff Goldblum acts as though this is the first time he's had this information. John Hammond gave him the names of the 3 people that are there. He heard her name.
Yeah.
And was handed a file with all of her information. And he's like, what? My girlfriend is part of this? And she's there already? Like, it doesn't make sense, guys.
It was probably just Steven Spielberg being like, no, we already shot that scene. I'm not fucking reshooting it. We'll Jeff, just act surprised now, okay? Action.
And that's he calls. He's like, she's not answering. He's like, because she's alone on that island.
Many things that you think is just rushed in this movie.
This whole movie is rushed and sucks. Hammond explains how he's like, she wanted to go, and the reason she dated you is because you were on the dinosaur island. And then, like, she was like, I want to learn about the dinosaurs and stuff. And she jumped at the opportunity to go see the dinosaurs. You're like, I fucking hate it. Yeah. I fucking hate it so much. And Jeff Goldblum says, well, this is no longer, what did he say? This is no longer a research expedition. It's a rescue mission. And it's leaving right now. And then he walks out of the room. And Mr. Pip follows him. He was, like, standing in the doorway the whole time. We don't see him until right here. And he follows Jeff Goldblum. Jurassic Park movie plays, and it's gonna suck, guys.
And I'm pretty sure this is the last time we ever see John Hammond.
We see him later.
We do?
Yeah.
But like in person, or is it like
on TV? Okay. But we see him.
Yeah.
He's there. We see the actor. We hear words from him.
Yeah. But other than that, I think that like in all the other movies, I don't think he comes up again. Like, comes up name, but I don't think, like, he's
there. Well, I mean, when did the actor die?
That's what I'm saying.
He was old here. He's probably dead by 2003.
Yeah.
They're in some warehouse. Pull that up if you can.
Yeah.
I'll keep going. Pull up the age. Or pull up when he died. They're in some warehouse, and this guy's talking about how he's like, we weren't supposed to leave for 3 more days, Jeff Goldblum. You're rushing me. I can't be rushed, Jeff Goldblum. And he's like, we got to leave right now. And he's trying to call Sarah, that's his girlfriend, on her satellite phone. And he's like, she's not answering the satellite phone. Have you had contact? And the guy's like, oh, I've had contact with her. Don't you worry about that. She's sending me all the stuff. Why is it? What are you doing? Why is this so difficult?
Yeah, I was trying to look it up a different way. I'm just going to go.
Just Google John Hammond actor or.
There we go.
Yeah.
Richard Attenborough.
Richard Attenborough.
Yeah.
So
he died 2014.
2014, so he was alive for Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah.
And the first Jurassic World movie, maybe?
Maybe.
Close, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, they just don't like this actor. Vince Vaughn pulls up in a van, and he's like, bitch, I'm your photographer. He's super cocky. He's like, I volunteered for Greenpeace because all the chicks. I got laid a bunch. Blah, blah, blah. And you're like, all right, Vince Vaughn. And Jeff Goldblum's like, great. We then say, Jeff Goldblum's daughter is black, which is very hip of them.
And
He's
even
got a
Vince
black
Vaughn was
daughter.
like, I don't see
That's
the
way later. So much later.
Oh.
So much later, man.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
But I think that's very hip. Good for them in 97. That probably wasn't common. And she's staying with Karen while he goes to the island. And she's like, this sucks. Why I gotta stay with Karen? And he's like, oh, you like Karen. Blah, blah, blah. She's like, she doesn't even have a Sega Dreamcast. You're like, okay. We get it. You're naming kid things. And the daughter's like, you're a fucking terrible dad. Like, I want some structure and discipline and blah, blah, blah. Like, you just let me do whatever. I'm just kind of on my own. She's like, let me come with you. It sucks. I fucking hate all of this movie.
it was...
She's like, let me come with you. And then he mentions, like, no, you got gymnastics. And she's like, I got gymnastics? I got cut for the team. Thanks for remembering. Thanks for taking such an interest in your daughter's life. And he's like, oh, man, you got cut from the team? And then he yells... He's like, well, I'm not the one who dumped you and left for Paris, so don't get mad at me. Like kind of just, like, out of nowhere, like, they had a, like, little rapport, boom, 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 and then he yells about how mom abandoned her child and went to Paris.
Pretty wild.
Yeah. I think just to set up, like, okay, he's a single dad.
Yeah,
but
it just seems a little
it's so forced.
rushed.
So forced. Guy's been calling his name over the loudspeaker, and the guy's getting more annoyed now, and Jeff Goldblum's like, all right, I gotta go. And he's like, hey, I'm sorry I yelled at you. Don't, just don't listen to what I say, all right? I'm an idiot. Just don't listen to me.
Yeah, he's like, you're a fucking angel.
Yeah, he's like, you're my princess, my goddess, you're my inspiration. It was weird.
Yeah.
Sounded like he wanted to fuck his daughter.
Yeah.
He goes down, and the guy's like, I got these tree cages. Pretty cool, huh? And Jeff Goldblum's like, no, I think animals will be stuck up there, and the dinosaurs will eat us. And it just keeps going. His daughter's looking at maps and shit. I don't like this movie. They're on this big boat on the water. The bald dude so it's a bald dude, Jeff Goldblum, and Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
That's the trio.
Bald dude is supposed to be like the protection or some shit. He's got a rifle with him, but
so he's setting up the tranquilizer gun, and he's explaining it to
but we're not
Jeff
really
Goldblum.
Yeah, we're not really given his background, right? It's not like
he's just the bald dude that Jeff Goldblum talks to.
Yeah.
That is all we know about this guy. He's just there.
He's Jeff's right hand man.
Vince Vaughn. He's this dude and his son are on the boat and yelling at Vince Vaughn in Spanish. And Vince Vaughn tells Jeff Goldblum, he's like, so they want to just drop us at the island and they're going to anchor off because 5 people have died on this island and they don't feel comfortable sitting on the island.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, whatever.
I don't know. I don't know if it was the acting or what. I just didn't like the scene. I don't know if it was Vince Vaughn or what.
You didn't like the scene? I didn't like this whole fucking movie.
Serious, bro?
You're like,
this
man,
scene,
like
this is the scene.
You know, this one scene, like this scene was fine. They
just seemed like
explain that the island's dangerous and that
it just seemed a little forced.
Yeah,
the
whole
whole
movie
lot of
was
things,
forced.
Themes forced and rushed.
This whole movie,
but it's fun.
This whole movie, I think you gave it a better grade than you gave Foxcatcher. All right, Foxcatcher was an Academy Award nominated film.
Did you catch the fox, mother?
They get off. They're on the island, and they find Sarah's bag abandoned and ripped.
And it's got a hole, and he fucking fingers the hole.
Yeah, it's not wrong.
It's not
wrong. Didn't need to be sexual.
But like it didn't. It's not like he needed. It was such a dumb way.
He didn't go in and out. He just like stuck his.
No, but it was. I'm not saying like sexually. I mean like he put his fingers through like, there's a hole. Like as if he needed to put the fingers through to realize there's a hole in the bag. I don't know. It was just
Jeff Goldblum and Vince Vaughn start screaming her name, and Vince Vaughn says her last name, and Jeff Goldblum finds it necessary to, while they're scared, wondering if his girlfriend is dead, he finds it necessary to be like, why are you saying her last name? You think there's multiple fucking Sarahs on this island, Vince Vaughn? Like, use your fucking head.
How many Sarahs do you think are on this island?
And you're just like, all right, fuck you, Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah,
you know, I hope she's dead.
Yeah.
I hope I hope we find her gutted.
You casually make a joke about
Vince Vaughn's like, I don't even know her.
Yeah.
This is your girlfriend. Fuck her. I'm done screaming her name. How about that? Go find her.
That was very apparent that Vince Vaughn seemed, and I was questioning. I was like, what's Vince Vaughn and this girl's relationship to each other? I literally thought that when I was rewatching this movie. I'm like, why does it seem like Vince Vaughn almost cares? Not that Jeff Goldblum didn't care, but it just seemed like Vince Vaughn almost cared more.
Jeff Goldblum's too cool to care sometimes.
It's a leather fucking jacket.
A herd of Stegosauruses
There you go.
by.
Stegosauruses.
Yeah. My name is Stegosaurus. I'm a funny-looking dinosaur.
Oh, God damn it, David.
'Cause on my back are many bony plates, but on my tail there's more. Do you not remember this?
What the
It was in kindergarten at St.
Yeah,
Clair.
no.
We learned this song.
No, David, I do not remember this.
My front 2 legs are very short. My back 2 legs are long. My body's big. My head is very small. I'm put together wrong. How do you not remember that song?
It's a song literally critiquing, like, God.
Evolution.
Both. Yeah, so.
Absolutely. Do you look at a Stegosaurus and think that's a well put together thing? No, they're put together wrong.
How long did they
got
survive?
misshapen legs, a tiny head in proportion to their body. They got fucking bony plates coming out of their back. They're put together wrong.
It'd be great if they were like the longest surviving species.
They're still put together wrong. None of that matters. You look at them, you're like, yeah, they're put together wrong. 100%.
There you go. Stegosaurus.
Vince Vaughn is taking pictures of them, and him and Baldy are in awe of the Stegosaurus, and Jeff Goldblum's like, oh, it's fucking nothing, all right? It always starts with you being in awe, and then you're gonna fucking die later. And you're like, all right, Jeff Goldblum.
He's
Fuck
so
you.
nihilistic.
He's like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
We've never seen dinosaurs. We're seeing dinosaurs.
For the first time.
This
and
is
you
insane
immediately
to us. You're going to make us feel like bitches for being excited about it? Fuck you.
ruining the moment, the first moment they ever see dinosaurs.
Yeah. So Vince Vaughn is taking pics, and Sarah is also there taking
This
pics.
part pissed me off probably
I hate
almost
that
more than anything.
she was very close, and they were screaming her name, and she didn't react. Vince Vaughn is right next to her. He should see her, but he doesn't. And then she scares him, and he jumps and falls back. And he's like, "Oh, hey, Sarah."
He's on like a log, and he's about to jump from one to the next. And she is right on the other side of that other log that he has to look to jump to. So, like, looking in that direction to jump to that spot, you can not spot her. And they literally just pan over, and she's, like, right there in frame. And and she's like, "Hey, Vince Vaughn," and he freaks the fuck out. I'm like, "Oh my god, get the fuck out of here!" That just pissed me off. Come on, Steven. How lazy are you going to be where you're literally just Spielberg, Steven. Yeah.
Steve, come on,
Steve. To where you're just going to pan the camera over and act as if like that was some beautiful transition for us to like also not know that she was there. Like, come on.
So she then sees Jeff Goldblum, and she's stoked he's there, and she then jumps in the water, like getting her boots all wet, and then stands in the water and is like splashing around like a toddler. It's like
you're gonna have a pet peeve. You're just out thinking like, okay, how many boots did she come with? She's like getting these boots so wet so quick.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. And she's talking all like fucking, man, the dinosaurs, blah blah blah, this and this. Jeff Goldblum doesn't give a fuck about any of that. He's holding a bag and he's like, "Were you attacked? There's a big rip in your bag." And she's like, "It's always been ripped. It's my lucky bag. I wasn't attacked." And he's like, "Why didn't you tell me you were coming? You've been on Dinosaur Island for days, and you didn't tell me you were going to do this." She's like, "I knew you'd say no." He's like, "All right."
Yeah, and
she then runs up to a baby Stegosaurus, starts taking pictures of it and petting it. Baldy and Vince Vaughn are in awe, and Jeff Goldblum again makes them look like little bitches about it because he's a fucking asshole.
And I gotta say, I think Julianne Moore has probably the best excited reactions or just shocked reactions I think I've ever, that almost probably any actress has like in a film, which she's like, I feel like put into roles for her reactions. The way that she's so like passionate in her reactions is, I feel like, why she's the actress she is. And get the roles that she does. I think I would put my money on it. If you're casting her, a lot of it's because of her reactions. That's just me. I know it's like it's silly.
What other?
I mean, you could just go to the what the fuck's it called with Mark Wahlberg, the Bodega
Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights, when she's reacting to his, yeah, Boogie Nights, when she's reacting to his dick and shit, bro. Like just so many things, bro. Where you could go over to like different movies where, No, I'm thinking of someone else. No, go on.
So the herd runs over to try to get her to leave. And instead of running back, she, like, runs into the thick of things in between all of the Stegosauruses. She almost gets hit with the tail, and then she dives in a log and almost gets hit with the tail on the log, and then they just leave.
And this part kind of pissed me off, too, because when you initially see the shot, you're pretty far back, wide, and she could have easily just ran backwards.
For
and she
sure.
would have been past this log. Instead, this one came up, like, almost, like, from the side, as if they were trying to make it seem like behind, but it wasn't. Like, she could have had enough time to get...
She absolutely could have gotten out of there.
Instead, she ran into the thick of it.
While this is happening, Jeff Goldblum's telling the guys, like, shoot the fucking dinosaur. Shoot it! Shoot it! I want it dead! And the guy goes, they're just... Oh, my God. He says they're just protecting their babies. And he goes, well, so am I! Fuck you.
Yeah. Mr. Leather Jacket.
Yeah. Vince Vaughn goes to light a cig. And, oh, my God. Sarah says, you're not supposed to do that. We're here to observe. They'll smell the cigarette from miles away. And we're here to observe, not interact. She just ran up and pet a fucking Stegosaurus. Took pictures right in her face. And she's like, don't smoke a cigarette because we're not supposed to interact. You can say don't smoke a cigarette. That's fine. Because we're not supposed to interact with them? Fuck you. I just watched you interact with the Stegosaurus.
That's such a good point.
Yeah, give me a, hey, don't smoke a fucking cigarette here. Just, hey, we don't smoke on the fucking dinosaur island. Just say that. And
then right after, she ends up like almost trying to contradict Jeff Goldblum, and he starts telling her, he's like, no. You can't ever, just from observing something, you're changing it. That's from like the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Some other, he's always got the principles, you know. And
Heisenberg was Walter White's character in Breaking Bad. Cooking meth.
There you go.
Heisenberg.
Observing the meth, changing it, you know. That's what you call splitting. But yeah, he's basically trying to say, like, anything you observe, it's not just interacting with it. It's also observing it. You're also changing it. So
Jeff Goldblum.
So she was fucking wrong, apparently, that whole time.
Hey, she sucks.
Yeah.
She sucks. Jeff Goldblum sucks. This movie fucking sucks, guys.
But she does react well to things. I will give her that.
I don't even know about all that.
You don't think she reacts well?
Braden's passionate about it, so like I'm not gonna sit here and really disagree.
Honestly, like
but I don't watch this. I'm like, man, she's reacting so well to this. Like,
I honestly
whatever.
Did. When I was rewatching the film last night, I was rewatching. I literally sat there and there was a moment I was like, she's really good at reacting to stuff. Like I swear, that's what I thought.
Sarah wants to. She's like, I'm here to prove dinosaurs are loving parents. Okay. Whatever.
And that's what she was so passionate about.
Fuck her.
No, yeah,
fuck
that's
her.
what she was saying.
I want to prove that they're loving parents. But like, all right, great.
Yeah.
All right, let's just move on with our lives. Having said that.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's basically what Jeff Goldblum's side is.
It's fucking nonsense. There's a fire at their camp, so they all run to it. They're like, why is there a fire here? And when they get there, Jeff Goldblum's black daughter walks out of the camper.
And John Williams.
And I say that because it's important.
Yeah.
It's his black daughter. And this is when Vince Vaughn looks at Baldy and goes, you see any resemblance? And Baldy's like, oh. No, I don't. No.
Yeah.
Sarah takes the daughter's side immediately with this. It's insane. Jeff Goldblum's like, what the fuck are you doing here? And Sarah's like, it's fine. Let her see the dinosaurs.
She's just trying to travel or adventure or something like that. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. Like, fuck her. Like,
you just almost died from an animal that's not a carnivore.
I don't even care about that. This is my daughter. I'm on the dinosaur island for work. She should be at school. Instead, she snuck on this trip, and you're going to be like, she's fine. Let her be here. Like, fuck you.
And knowing he just got there. She's been there. She knows. One of the things that she was saying when she was showing the fucking dinosaurs taking photos was like, oh, yeah, and the carnivores eat the herbivores. And then she spots the Stegosaurus or whatever the fuck it's called. So she knows that there's carnivores on this island eating these ginormous herbivores. And she's like, yeah, this daughter, she just wants to adventure a little bit. She's fine.
Fuck her.
Fuck her. That pissed me off. I was like, just the writing. I'm like, who's putting this in there? Who's making this character like that? That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like a 10-year-old daughter.
I have such disdain for this movie, guys. Because I remembered loving this movie.
Yeah,
I remembered loving all of the Jurassic Park movies. So the fact that this is what it really is so disappointing.
It's just like Steven says. He's like, am I just writing Dog Steve, bro? The homie Steve Spielberg.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like, what am I just making silent films with roars? That's basically what this movie is. And when you're a child, you love it because you're like, oh, dinosaur galore. They're everywhere.
Nah, everywhere.
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum can't get the satellite phone to work. Says he's going to use the radio inside, take his daughter home. If anyone wants to join him, they can. No one else is budging. And then they go inside, and his daughter says, "Are you mad?"
Well, the dynamic was weird because Sarah was trying to like say good things about the trip to the two other guys that were there, and she was
just assuming no one was going to go. He's like, I'm leaving with my daughter if anyone wants to come with me, and she's just talking to them about like what else they need to do while they're here.
I felt like she was trying to
she just kept game plan.
Well,
she's like, so tomorrow we need to set up over here, blah, blah, blah.
I think she didn't want them to hear what he had to say, which is like, you're going to fucking die.
She knew they weren't
trying to like hype it up with like good stuff.
She knew they weren't going to leave. Daughter says, are you mad? Just like that. She's like, are you mad? As if like Jeff Goldblum was going to be like, no, I'm not mad. I'm glad you came.
Yeah. And he like slammed the door. He's like, I'm
furious. The door. Furious.
I'm Jeff Goldblum. I'm furious.
The trailer's a fucking mess, and he's like, what the hell is this? She's like, I was going to clean it up. He goes, clean it up now. Because she trashed the fucking science lab cooking dinner for everybody. That's what she was doing. She was making dinner. So I wanted it to be a surprise when you got back. Sarah comes in, and she's like, don't be mad. I'm the best kind of girlfriend there is. I'm one that travels a lot. Like, I hate her. Jeff Goldblum asks his daughter to leave the room. And then Sarah is like, why'd you show up to rescue me here but not at that conference 2 weeks ago that you told me you were going to come to? He's like, that's kind of different. She's like, all right, I mean, you'll rescue me here, but you won't rescue me from the dinner that I had with your parents that you know showed at. And she's just like, I need someone who's going to be there in the real world, not just when I'm on fucking Dinosaur Island. Which makes sense.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like they have a healthy relationship.
No.
But, like, makes sense that she's upset that he wouldn't be there in the real world. Doesn't make sense that her reaction to that is, I'm going to go to Dinosaur Island to see if he comes to save me. That's not healthy either.
Yeah.
Nothing about their relationship is healthy, and we're made to think they're good together. We're made to be like, they got a good thing.
Yeah.
And Jeff Goldblum's daughter still hasn't left. She tries to chime in. She's like, I agree with Sarah. He's like, I told you to fucking leave. And then she goes to leave and opens the door. And he's like, what are you doing? Close the door. And she closes the door. He's like, it's dangerous out there. You stay in here.
Yeah, and as this is happening, like Sarah's trying to say some stuff to him and sees how Jeff reacts to his daughter, obviously realizing at this point that his head is in the wrong place. Or like not in the place that she wants it to be. So she realizes there's no point of like bickering anymore. And she's just like, well, listen, I don't need you anymore. So it's basically okay. You can leave. Like
she says you should leave. She says you guys should leave, but I'm going to stay.
Yeah.
Which they should leave.
They absolutely
His daughter shouldn't be there.
Yeah. And him knowing what he knows, I would not be on that fucking island.
So a bunch of planes and helicopters start coming up to the island with whatever Hammond's company name is.
Yeah, and they're like carrying crates and shit like that are hanging underneath, like
and then trucks and fucking they're ready for anything.
Yeah.
Team Jeff Goldblum is confused. They're like, "Why did Hammond send two teams? What is this?"
Yeah.
Hammond's nephew is with that team, and he's like sitting in the back of the Jeep as they're going. He's like, all right, I think we'll set up camp here. It's as good a spot as any. He's saying on the radio. And then guy sitting in the front goes, I'm going to need you to get on the radio and say we're not setting up camp here. This is a game trail. Carnivores hunt on game trails. We're not going to stay on a fucking game trail. He's like, listen here. I'm in charge, all right? I'm daddy on this trip. Your job is to tell me good job, write me the check, and pour us our scotch at the end of the night. You got that? He's like, and I'm even going to waive my fee. All I want is to be allowed to hunt a male T-Rex. And the nephew's like, all right, deal.
Shit. Yeah.
And then he gets on the radio. He's like, no, we're not going to set up camp here. We're setting up camp somewhere else. This dude, I like this dude.
Which guy?
The dude in the front. The fucking the hunter.
Yeah,
hunter
I like him too. He's straight to the point, does not play around, and he does a good job. I actually like him in this film.
There's dirt bikes and Hummers, like, doing jumps.
Oh, they're doing ridiculous shit. One dude literally drove in between the the long necks,
the
fucking legs,
Brachiosaurus.
the Brachiosaurus. Zigzag. I'm like, bro, you're not doing that.
Yeah, it's fucking insane.
You're not doing that. I don't give a fuck how fast you're riding on your dirt bike. You're not going to take that chance.
Yeah. That thing moves at all differently.
Have you ever like had like a rat or like, I mean, I haven't, but like a mouse, anything, just like scavenge around your leg? Oh shit. You know, you almost step on it just from not trying to step on it. It could be a cat. It could be anything.
There we go.
If you're a long neck, you're going to accidentally step on this fucking dude. That dude should have died. That's what they should have had. They should have had that dude fucking die, and then everyone else like, oh,
this
shouldn't be doing that. Yeah.
They corner one of those fucking bony head dinosaurs, and there's actually
one of my favorite parts of this movie. He's literally like trying to figure out what the dinosaur is called. He's got like a whole booklet of like different dinosaurs. The main dude,
and he just
like,
calls them bony head one, whatever. Yeah. It's because it doesn't matter what they're called.
Yeah, he throws the paper out. He's like, fuck it, just that dude.
There's a nerdy cowboy explaining to a Native American what the dinosaur is.
That scene didn't make any sense, really.
Yeah, he's explaining it, and then it kind of fucks them all up and keeps running, and then they use the trucks to capture it.
Yeah.
So they've captured the thing. They have fucking like things around it. They're holding it down.
Yeah.
Team Jeff Goldblum, they're sitting up on like a fucking hill, and they're watching all this. And
they were like in the perfect spot for like a show.
Yeah. They keep chasing all the other things, and they take down one of those like things that like ponytail looking ones.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
They take down one of those, and Team Jeff Goldblum's all sad up on the hill. The T-Rex hunter guy finds T-Rex marks, and he's like, all right, here we go. Nephew's like, hey, where you going? We got shit to do over here. He's like, I'm going to collect my fee, bitch.
Dude, like, it took him 10 minutes to collect one dinosaur, and he's like, all right, I'm going to go get my fee.
One of the little dinosaurs from earlier that fucked up that little girl.
Mm-hmm.
It comes up to another guy, and
this guy
This guy is upset that it isn't scared of him, so he zaps it on the head with a taser. And it runs away.
Yeah, he played the fucking part like as if it was very theatrical. I don't know. Just my point, my perspective.
That's
what I mean.
What does that mean?
When I mean like more like theater acting. I don't know. Like the way he just did like certain little things made me think. And I put my money on it. He's probably a very big theater actor. Like works in theater plays. And I don't know, just something about it. I just feel like he's a big theater actor, like theater play actor, and. Yeah, I don't know. Just random.
What does that mean? What does that mean? He played it like a theater actor.
So you're more.
So we've covered at length. I have no acting experience. Right. I don't have acting aspirations. Those are words you said.
It's not like he was. So you have to be more like overly expressive because you have to be projecting to the crowd, and rather than like in film, like smaller is more, but in theater, more is more. If that makes sense. So like the more expressive you are, the more you're projecting outward, the more it's going to come across. Yeah, my bad.
Are we sitting way closer than we normally do? What?
I don't know. My arms are just more free today. Something's going on. But yeah, you just have to project more to the crowd and in film. And it's not like he was overly expressive or anything. It's just like some of the expressions that he did in his face and the way he would react just made me think like, he takes like a moment, like a certain longer beat for certain things, like how you would sometimes more see with theater actors.
All right.
It's not anything that big or grand.
Kind of like Ongo Baglobian, the art collector.
There you go.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
So T-Rex hunt is in full swing. The guy finds a bunch of dinosaur carcasses, and he finds a nest where there's a baby T-Rex.
That baby T-Rex is munching.
And this guy's like, great, we'll just wait here. And he's like, nah. This is upwind. So the T-Rex is going to smell us miles away. We got to draw him out to where we want him to go.
Smart.
And the guy's like, all right. They then take the baby and tie it up out in the open. And it's screaming. It's like tied down, and it's just going, like screaming, and they're like, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
Dad's gonna come find its baby, and we're gonna fuck that up.
Sheesh.
Team Jeff Goldblum is stalking the other team's camp. Jeff Goldblum says they aren't building a new park. I don't know how he pieced it together so quickly. He's like, they're not here to build a new park. they're here to bring these dinosaurs back to the U.S.
Well,
which is exactly what they were doing.
And the reason why is because he could see at the camp that they have animals caged in, like into.
So he knows they're going to bring them to the U.S. to start a park there? Like,
But
how could he piece that shit together?
I don't know if he could hear them either, but at this point down in the camp, they're actually talking about doing that. I don't know if he can.
He could not.
And then this is a big point that I just thought.
After.
True. But this is a big point that I just thought, too. Bro, it's night. How far away are you from your camp?
Yeah.
Did you just travel across? Like, are you going to have to travel miles back at night, bro, through Dinosaur Island? Like, it makes no sense that you're going to risk all that with your daughter.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
No, this is more important.
Yeah, no, we got to find out what they're up to.
Vince Vaughn says Hammond knew these guys were coming. Vince Vaughn knows. He's like, Hammond knew these guys were coming and had a backup plan. And they're like, what's the backup plan? And he goes, I'm the backup plan, bitch. And he, like, he puts together a pair of bolt cutters. Like, he had it in pieces in his bag. And he's screwing it together. Like in old movies where they screw, like old, like, James Bond style movies. Where, like, they screw the gun together.
Yeah.
And you're like, ooh.
Yeah, and he knew.
Or a pool cue.
They knew that they were going to come.
Huh? You ever play pool?
Yeah.
Billiards?
Yeah.
Yeah, you screw the cue together.
Yeah.
One of those.
Yeah. But they knew they were coming, just not as quick as they ended up coming. So, like, Vince Vaughn was like, I was hoping that they were going to be, here by the time we were gone. But they got here faster, so. A little plan B action by Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hammond's nephew he looks like he's on like a video conference with some people in a boardroom, and he has a baby dinosaur in a cage there, and he's kind of fucking with it, and he's like, we're bringing him to San Diego, guys. Here we go. We're going to bring him to San Diego, and we're going to have a fucking new Jurassic Park San Diego where everyone's going to come. It's going to be great. And they're like, all right, sounds great.
Yeah, and they're talking about as well how John Hammond wanted to do this arena on this island, but it was one, like, somewhat impossible, but two, it was a lot more unlikely that they're going to get all these guests to go and travel all the way to this island rather than
and just like John Hammond was like, I don't want it just to be for the super elite. I want everyone to be able to come, but like, I don't know about your upbringing. Like, my mom wouldn't have been able to afford going to some island over off the coast of Asia.
I've never been out of the country
to go see dinosaur. Like that wasn't in the Breen family budget.
Yeah, dude, no. I feel you.
The Palm Beach Zoo was in the Breen family budget.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, if they had dinosaurs in West Palm, we could have fucking swung that for sure.
All day, the safari. Let's go.
Yeah, but they're fucking like, yeah, I want it to be for everybody on this fucking island that's way out here, and it's going to be real tough to get to.
It's so far away from everyone else that most people don't know this island exists.
Yeah. So the nephew's a piece of shit, but like he makes way more sense than John Hammond.
No, yeah, totally.
You're like, all right,
yeah.
So Vince Vaughn and Sarah are letting the dinosaurs out, and here's my issue. They let them all out without needing to use the bolt cutters until the last one.
Yeah, and
they didn't lock up any of them. They're just opening fucking gates. And then the last...
let me pull this out.
Yeah, and then opening it. The last one was a Triceratops, and they needed the bolt cutters for that one. That was it.
My thing was, they unlocked a lot of the gates, but they didn't open any of the gates. Or at least we don't see that.
They opened them all. They just didn't, like, fling them open.
No, yeah, exactly.
They had them open, so it was
like very... But, like, you would kind of see it, like, slightly cracked. My thing was, like, what if the dinosaurs just didn't know? And then they come out and they're like, oh, shit, all the shit's unlocked. And they just locked it up real quick.
That'd been great. Like, oh, man, these dinosaurs could have got out.
Yeah.
Glad we got this.
Thank God they stayed in the fucking...
And as the nephew is saying, he's like, the fucking zoo's almost ready and we'll be able to take visitors next month. A Triceratops just bursts through and fucks everything up in there.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs are running all over the place. A car gets launched into the tree where the hunter and his boy... He has this guy that's just kind of like... I don't know. The guy's just kind of there, and he's his boy.
This is the thing I probably hated the most in this film. It's so unrealistic. A Triceratops through a car.
Hold on. You're telling me that it's unrealistic that a Triceratops in 1997 through a Jeep? What?
So high that it comes in the background, higher than the tree, and then lands on the bro. It's like 100-foot toss.
Dude, we know nothing about the capabilities of a fucking triceratops. If it was a horse, yeah, I'd be on your side. It's a fucking triceratops. Who the hell knows? They weren't going for realistic with this movie.
Steve was like,
who?
Homie Spielberg was like, fuck it. We'll have the fucking Jeep thrown 100 feet. They won't think anything of it. They'll think it's real.
So Vince Vaughn runs, and it doesn't hit the guy in his tree.
They jump out.
The car missed,
last
and
second.
They jump out. Yeah. Vince Vaughn sets the baby T-Rex free and starts carrying it. The hunter guy goes back to camp, and he's like, it's the last time I leave. He tells the guy who zapped the dinosaur earlier, he's like, last time I leave, you in fucking charge, man.
Yeah.
Vince Vaughn is coming out of the river where Sarah is, carrying baby T. Baby Rex, carrying baby Rex. And he's like, its fucking leg is broken. Sarah's like, what the fuck, man? We can't bring this with us. He's like, its leg's broken.
So real quick.
It's going to die out here.
Did the hunter break its leg?
I'm assuming.
Right?
Why else would its leg be broken?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
he had to have.
Yeah.
To
try and slow probably the T-Rex down from trying to take the... Yeah, totally makes sense. Yeah.
Hunter finds the cut bolt that Vince Vaughn, for some reason, left because nobody taught... And they didn't teach him in Swingers about leave no trace. So he just left the fucking... Like, he cut the bolt and then just left it there on the ground. And the Hunter's like... Well, this was clearly cut with bolt cutters, so...
Someone else is here.
Yeah, he's like, let's find who did this.
Yeah.
Team, it's now raining out. We're over at Team Jeff Goldblum camp. Baldy's trying to get the cage up in the tree when Vince Vaughn and Sarah ride in, and he's like, hey, and they just ride through and don't acknowledge him. He's like, what the fuck's their thing? Jeff Goldblum gets the radio to start working, but he doesn't speak Spanish, so he can't communicate with the people there.
There you go.
He's like, I don't speak. Does anyone speak English? And they're like, nah. Vince Vaughn and Sarah run in with Baby Rex, and Jeff Goldblum. He's not stoked.
No, yeah.
But he's not freaking out.
He's not freaking out at
he's
first.
He's kind of like, nah, what is it? Come on.
It's almost as if he didn't realize that was like a baby T-Rex for like the first 5 minutes or something.
He's like, what are we doing?
Yeah, no.
This is a real guys. No. Look at me. This isn't a good idea. like that's how he's handling this. And you're like, all right, well, we're gonna do it anyways then. Baby Rex starts making a bunch of noise, and Jeff Goldblum's daughter is like, well, the parents are gonna hear that and come. Well, she's like, Dad, I wanna get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I didn't like when they did it though, because the baby T-Rex was chirping at first with its mouth open, and then Vince Vaughn put its belt around its mouth, and then it was just going, and then she was like, oh no, other dinosaurs are gonna hear it. I'm like, at that point, you don't think any dinosaur is gonna hear this dinosaur with its mouth closed. You know what I'm saying? Like that. And once again, I'm thinking, oh, Steven shot the other scene. Big Steve Spielberg shot this scene, in order probably, and was like, all right, well, we already shot that part, so we'll have her just say it now. Who gives a shit? Like, just rush that as well. It was like, no, let's not go back because then that would make implication for Vince Vaughn to put the belt around. But no, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. So they go up in the tree cage with Baldy.
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum's downplaying the severity of this, and then they hear a T-Rex roar in the distance, and he's like, well, that's not good. Yeah. So he gets on the satellite phone. He's calling the trailer. Vince Vaughn goes to answer, but Sarah's like, ignore that fucking phone. I need your help over here. And he's like, okay. Then Jeff Goldblum's like, all right, well, I gotta go in there and tell them this. So Baldy gives him a thing to rappel down. And his daughter's like, don't go. What are you doing? And he's like, I give you my word that I'll be back. She's like, you never keep your word. And he's like, hey, you're my goddess. You're my daughter. You're my life. And then she goes, your inspiration. And he goes, yeah. And then he rappels down really fast. Sounds like he hits the ground hard.
It's kind of
gimmicky. And Baldy's like, you should have done it slower.
Yeah, and they put in like a sound effect as if like you're watching like the Looney Tunes. I mean, it wasn't like that. Like it sounded realistic, but it
sounded like you were watching the Looney Tunes. Braden's not exaggerating.
Okay,
it sounded
there you go.
awful.
It was silly.
It was like, boing.
And then he's like, "Oh, should have repelled slower." Like it was supposed to be like some gimmicky joke. And I'm like, not the time.
And then
nor place.
they had a grand piano fall on him, and he had piano things for teeth, and he's like, "Argh."
Yeah, and it was playing the yeah.
Sarah uses Vince Vaughn's gum as part of the operation with Baby Rex.
Well, at first she just says spit, and he spits in her hand, and she was like, "Ew, no!" Wipes it on him, and he's like, "Gum," which you told me spit in your hand. I'm spitting.
Yeah,
I'm giving you spit.
Well, so she said, "I need something adhesive," and then looks at him and goes, "Spit."
Oh yeah.
So like he should have thought gum, but he didn't.
Nah.
He just hocks a loogie in her hand. She's like, "That's fucking disgusting." She's like, "Give me this gum." He's
Vince
like,
Vaughn knows how she likes it.
Baldy and Jeff Goldblum's daughter see something huge running through the trees. Jeff Goldblum runs in the trailer, and before he can explain what happened,
They're fucking there.
the Jeep gets thrown across their camp, and they're like, "What is that?"
Yeah.
And then two fucking T-Rexes are surrounding the trailer and roaring at each other, and they start nudging the trailers. The parents and babies, they make noises back and forth to each other. And Sarah points out, she's like, "This isn't hunting behavior. They just want their baby back."
No way.
So they go and slowly put the baby outside and then get back in.
Once again, she had a great reaction at that point. Remember that?
There we go.
Yeah.
It was fine.
Yeah.
It wasn't good enough to where I noticed it.
I did.
They then have a phone call with Baldy and the daughter where Baldy's like, "Yeah, they went back into the woods." It's like, good. They just got their baby and left. Sarah's happy, saying that the parental instincts of T-Rex are academic at this point. And then, nothing prompted this, but Jeff Goldblum just stopped and went, "Hold on. This is going to be bad." And then the trailer flips over.
They just get fucking flipped. And I'm like, okay.
There was no like, boom, we don't hear anything like that. Jeff Goldblum just sensed it. And that's his reaction, to just quietly be like, "This is going to be bad."
And it's like, once again, just a rushed scene by Steven Spielberg. Dude, like, you literally 2 seconds before this, you gave this guy who's hanging up in the fucking air, calling back down, saying, "Yeah, they're fucking far gone now." 2 seconds later, that dude doesn't call back to be like, "Hey, they're fucking coming back.
Yeah.
They're right there."
These aren't...
You didn't hear the footsteps that are iconic in these Jurassic Park films at this point? Like, what the fuck is going on?
Like, guys, these aren't tigers. These are fucking T-Rexes. They're humongous. Like,
There's 2 of them.
It's not like they're going to be stealth and get back over there.
But you can't hype up the way he did right before when the T-Rexes came over. They're moving fucking trees. You're hearing them from a mile away. You know they're coming. And then they leave. And then they're back like that, and you don't know. Like, it's just so rushed and just Steve, what the fuck, bro?
What the hell, Steve? You and Braden go way back.
Way back, bro.
You're pulling some shit like this. So they're pushing them off the cliff. The T-Rex parents, they're just fucking this thing up, and it's hanging off the cliff. Sarah falls and face plants. Like, half the trailer's off the cliff. The other half's on, like, fucking regular ground. And she face plants on this glass window thing on the other end. That's
at the very rear end that's hanging directly. And now we're above. So that was like on a cliff that's hanging over a bunch of rocks and water in the ocean. And they got to be like...
They're high. I don't know. It doesn't
I don't want to Shane McMahon
They're
this.
High up. They're high up.
I don't want to Shane McMahon.
It cracks every time she moves. And Jeff Goldblum climbs down to try to save her. Vince Vaughn drops the satellite phone
that he was supposed to grab.
Yeah, and he couldn't reach it. And it falls, and it completely shatters the glass thing. But her and Jeff Goldblum both grab the lucky bag at the same time. And he pulls her up.
Yeah, and he says to her, "It's your lucky bag."
It's the lucky bag. Thank God. Baldy runs up and asks how he can help. Jeff Goldblum says rope and 3 double cheeseburgers with everything on it. Vince Vaughn says no onions on mine. Sarah says and an apple turnover.
Pissed me off.
No, that's not real life, guys.
Yeah, that's
no one has that great of comedic timing to where, like, Jeff Goldblum might say that joke, Vince Vaughn and Sarah don't that quickly come in with the fucking...
Dude, you're. I'm telling you right now, you're lost for words, speechless. If you just almost died from like a 1,000-foot drop.
And here's the thing: Jeff Goldblum's character, like in real life, that person
maybe
does the initial joke. No fucking way the other two chime in that quickly.
And you could just tell, like, you know, the actors did a pretty decent job with trying to say the line, but you could just tell, like, it's a forced thing. So once again, Steven Spielberg forcing and rushing.
Baldy ties the rope off, and then all of a sudden, Team Jeff Goldblum's like, "Hey, hurry up! Come on, we gotta get this thing." And you're like, "Oh, you were making jokes a second ago.
No.
Come on, we need that rope. We need that rope."
Contradictions with like emotions in this movie.
The rope comes in, and they almost fall.
Oh,
and
God.
Baldy
You
hooks.
heard the pain in my voice on that.
And then it comes off where he tied it off and hooked up. It's a fucking clusterfuck. And
It's a clusterfuck.
Then it's sliding. So he's got a rope tied to the Jeep and another rope, like tied to the trailer, tied to the Jeep, and another rope tied around a tree given to Jeff Goldblum's team.
And as they start climbing up this rope, what happens? The rope fucking breaks with all three of them climbing up. What do? They somehow miraculously grab onto shit that
All of them. Yeah.
They all
Nobody falls.
bull fucking shit, dude. You're grabbing where there's shattered glass. Like everywhere where their hands are is literally broken shattered glass because they're hanging from like or at least the guys are, I'm pretty sure, hanging from the window at this point where there's just shattered. Like your hand would be fucked, bro. And there's so much shit. You're not grabbing it even if there's no shattered glass. You're falling to your death.
Yeah. So Baldy, he figures out, he ties everything off and like it's good now, and the thing's sliding, so he's hitting the Jeep in reverse to keep the trailer up. And then the T-Rex parents come back and they start fucking up the car, but he's a fucking team player. He doesn't stop. He keeps hitting it in reverse, and then the T-Rexes grab him and fuck him up. They rip him apart.
It's the most brutal death I think we've ever seen in any death in Jurassic Park because he literally gets ripped in half by two T-Rexes.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's not.
It's less than ideal.
Oh, God.
The trailer then falls and the Jeep goes off the cliff too, and it just like they stay inside the trailer and it misses and the Jeep just goes over them.
And my thing is too, it's like there's no way that
something would have hit one of them.
Something would have hit one of them and they all would have fell because of it. Like there's
they climb up to the top and someone offers their hand to help Sarah up. She takes it, gets up there, and it's the other team.
Here's another huge thing. They're not climbing up. Like unless you're like experienced with climbing a rope.
They are.
Well, it's super,
they're experienced with climbing ropes,
but it's
and
super wet.
they can climb. Yeah, but they're good. They're good at this. They do this kind of stuff all the time. But the other team's there, and I mean, like, come on, like, there's too many holes. there's too many holes. I'm realizing how long this fucking podcast is going to be.
Yeah.
That's one we don't have to dive into.
Yeah, you're right.
Of course, they couldn't climb up that fucking rope.
No, you're right. But the T-Rexes leave. The people don't run into the T-Rexes. Somehow the T-Rexes get there without us knowing. There's so much fuckery going on with the rush scenes.
Yeah, and they're all so they help them up, and now everyone's on the cliff.
Yeah, and they don't really act as if these people try to fuck them over. Like now they're helping these people out. They know this other party was probably the people that set these dinosaurs free, but now they're acting as if they're all cool. Right?
Yeah, to a degree.
Yeah.
To a degree. There's some hostility for sure.
For sure, but they're not like locked up. They're not like, not like they have handcuffs or anything, but you think they would like, I don't know.
What, imprison these people?
Almost, yeah, kind of thing, yeah. Well, if you're thinking what they're doing, they're literally...
Dude, you can't you have to kill them if you're going to do that. You can't. You can't just imprison these people. Well, if you're going to do that, you have to kill them on that island.
But think about it, though, bro.
But you don't have the option to false imprison them.
Not imprison them, but you would tie like their hands together. So if these people are like...
you can't do that to people.
I agree with you. You can't. I'm just saying if these people are going out to find these people for what they did, and then they find them, you think they would...
They need to just murder them. Okay. They can't tie them up.
Okay. So then at least murder them because it makes no sense to go and find them and then be
that is their only option. They have to murder the people because if they tie them up, guess what? When they get back to the U.S., they're going to fucking prison. You can't tie people up on a fucking dinosaur island and then just go on with your life.
I don't know, man. Money talks,
guys. So it's not raining anymore. The other group's like, oh, you lost your satellite phone? What the fuck? They want the satellite phone. They go back and forth about whose fault everything is. Vince Vaughn says they have no right to strip mine this place and calls them looters. And there's this one guy. Oh, so the nephew's like, those extinct dinosaurs have no right to life. We fucking created them. I am God.
Yeah, we fucking own them. Which, I hate this. He's got a fucking point, bro. If once again, when China finishes making Jurassic World, if a pterodactyl comes here and starts somehow attacking me, I'm blaming China. I'm blaming the people who created it. And I don't know what, right? Like, you got to kill them. They are part of your responsibility. It's not mine now. It's not God's now. You created something that's not supposed to be. Like, if you were to, it's just like Elon Musk I just saw in this clip. He's like, if we're able to almost control the RNA sequence of our DNA to the point to where I can make a butterfly human being.
So, so here's how many of those dinosaurs did they create?
What do you mean? They created all of them.
No, life found a way.
So
but they've been fucking like Baby Rex there. They didn't create that.
You're right.
Like, at what point? I think they only have a right to the ones that weren't made by dinosaur fucking.
I definitely think like, okay, I think it's your responsibility.
Baby Rex.
Because if Baby Rex grows up and then starts eating everyone, whose responsibility is it God's now?
That's nature, baby.
But okay, so like,
that's nature.
Let's take it another degree. If Elon creates Butterfly Man comes up and fucks the shit out of you, who are you blaming?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's fair.
But that's Butterfly Man. If Butterfly Man has grandkids that come up and fuck the shit out of me, I'm only blaming the grandkids.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair.
I mean, no, I'm not, because I could get way more money in a settlement with Elon Musk than I could with Butterfly grandkids.
There you go.
That's for sure. Yeah. But like, hey, Baby Rex is not from them.
Yeah, you got a point.
This guy isn't saying anything, but just keeps aggressively getting in Vince Vaughn's face. And Vince Vaughn's like, "Are you looking for a problem?" He's like, "Yeah, and I found you, bitch." And then they shove back and forth, and then people break it up.
Can you imagine being on a dinosaur island and like you got the audacity to start a fight with someone when there's like literal T-Rexes around you? Like,
yeah.
What the fuck?
Sarah explains how the T-Rex parents are gonna feel like they have to defend this territory now, so they'll be back. Nephew says there's a control center that's about a day's hike away. We could go there and get some help. But there's going to be raptors on the way. And people are like, what's a raptor? Oh, my God. So they explain what raptors are again. And the hunter guy says the T-Rex is just fed. And Jeff Goldblum goes, fed? You mean they ate our fucking friend who gave his life to save us? And he's like, and the guy's like, yeah. That's what I'm saying. He said, what I'm saying is that predators don't hunt just after they've been fed. And then Jeff Goldblum goes, that's just people, huh? And the hunter goes, oh, man, you're breaking our heart, Jeff Goldblum. Like, let's get the fuck out of here, you bitch.
I did love that dude's attitude. But at the same time, half a dude is not filling up a fucking T-Rex. That's a snack. That's like one chip to me. You're half a human being for a 20,000-pound T-Rex?
That's like eating
100 humans.
That's like eating the black and blue from Jimmy's John's.
Yeah, it's not going down well.
It's not. No. They threw that up, and they're like, all right, well, we got to eat something.
Yeah, I got to get something.
Guys, Daddy's got to take a piss. So we'll be right back.
Goddamn does.
And we're back.
We're back.
Guys, by the way, I never told you earlier. I looked it up and didn't tell you. Batman and Robin won the worst movie that grossed over $100 million. And rightfully so. It's the one,
fucking
one with Mr. Freeze.
And Mr.
Played
Freeze
by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, dude, so bad.
Clooney's Batman. The movie's awful.
Dude, so bad.
It was really bad. So, yeah. That might be the only movie that I would have accepted to win that award over this.
Yeah.
Because it was that bad.
It was funny because I was trying to do a little nostalgia thing the other,
Memorabilia.
Memorabilia, yeah. A year ago where I was just skimming through this Batman. I was like, man, I really wonder what this Batman was like again. And I skimmed through it. I remembered all of it, like rewatching it and just being like, how did I not hate this when I was young? It's not like I liked it, but I was just like, man.
Because Mr. Freeze is unquestionably a cool character.
You're right.
Yeah, no pun intended, huh?
Yeah.
But like without a doubt, you're like, oh, that's a badass idea. Like he's spraying and freezing shit. Like for a little kid, you're like, yeah, fuck yeah,
like, and the costumes and shit. But
yeah,
God, what a bad movie.
Poison Ivy just slutting it up,
dude.
Oh, who didn't want to be with Poison Ivy?
I did.
Yeah,
I totally did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
I
I like them bad.
Yeah.
So they set out to find the control center, and it's now pouring rain outside again.
And
We went from pouring to not raining to pouring.
Yeah.
Vince Vaughn asked the hunter, he's like, you seem like you're fucking smart. Like, what's your deal? Why are you fucking here? And the guy's like, I want to kill a T-Rex. And he's like, you're so insecure that a animal that's been gone for tens of millions of years comes back, and your only way to interact with it is to fucking kill it? Which, great.
The guy ends up like giving him like some analogy about living life.
Guy talks about like Mount Everest without oxygen. That's life.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
He's like, why did the guy climb to Mount Everest? And he's like,
fuck that guy.
He's like,
fuck every. I don't even want to hear it. No, you're not even gonna say what he said. He talks about Everest without air, living life. He's like, yeah. And you're supposed to be like, yeah, all right.
Okay, yeah. That makes
Jeff
it
Goldblum
all right.
tells the nephew that he's like, taking dinosaurs off this island is the worst idea in a sad history of bad ideas. And I'm going to be there when you learn that.
God
and
damn
walks
it.
away. It's now morning and it's not raining. And they go from being out in a field into the woods. And we see blood on these leaves. And the hunter sees that Sarah's clothes are covered in blood, which I guess he hadn't seen before. And he goes up to her. He's like, you injured? And she's like, no, it's the baby T-Rex's blood. He's like, okay. That's it.
Yeah.
The dude who's not allowed to be in charge anymore, he tells this one guy, he's like, hey, I'm gonna go in there and take a piss. He says, I'm gonna use the little lady's room, which I liked. He says, we chill here in case I get lost in there or anything. Just don't let him leave without me. And the guy doesn't respond to him because he has headphones in. He's listening to music, which you would think they don't let one of the people there have music, or he would be like, hey, okay, look at me.
Dude, who in their right mind is comfortable enough to be listening to music when you're surrounded by literal T-Rexes?
The little dinosaur that he zapped on the head earlier comes up and starts fucking with
Isn't
him.
this the same dinosaur too that attacked the girl in the very beginning?
It's the same kind. I don't know if it's the same
Okay,
dinosaur. I didn't get its name.
Yeah.
You know?
You just seem like such an expert, you know.
I didn't catch his name. Like, hey, what's your name, by the way?
Bronchosaurus. David's got all the sauruses.
So the guy, like, it fucks with him, and like he gets turned around in there, and then he's like, ah, shit, where did I? Everything looks the same because I'm in these woods that I've never been in before.
And I'm by myself. Yeah,
like it makes sense that he would get turned around. And then he starts yelling to the guy who has his headphones in and doesn't hear him. He's like, I got turned around. Hello. And then a bunch of the little dinosaurs. Oh no! Then he falls down a hill and rolls down and loses his gun.
Yeah.
And a bunch of the little dinosaurs come and they swarm him and they're attacking him. And he kind of like fucks them up, and then they stand off to the side, and he runs at them to scare them off because they're little. They get scared and they run back. And then they keep pouncing on him, and he's running away. And then they'll pounce and they'll run away, and eventually he dies.
Yeah, and
we don't see him die, but we see them just like it's behind a log and they're attacking, and we see a bunch of blood going into the water.
I felt like this was the death that was very similar to in the first movie, where the guy that was trying to betray Jurassic Park, but he was the one that was selling all like the genetic codes and stuff. I feel like this was like almost the same kind of death.
Newman from Seinfeld.
And then another little fun fact: this in the original novel was John Hammond's death. So at this part of the movie and everything, apparently John Hammond was on this mission with them, and he ended up dying the way this dude did. But they didn't keep that, so this dude died instead.
They should have him die from dinosaurs. Like, it's weird that he wouldn't die from dinosaurs.
Yeah. I think they ended up explaining it in the last Jurassic World movie, because I think they were at his old place, I'm pretty sure. But I think he died of like natural causes or something. I don't think he died.
Good for him. He died in his bed, surrounded by family.
Yeah.
Good for him. So they keep hiking on, and then later we see them stopped, and the hunter goes up to the music guy, and he's like, when's the last time you saw him? And he's like, 15 minutes? I don't know. The hunter tells music guy, he's like, all right, well, you're going to come with me. You're going to help me look for him.
He's like, if we find him, if he's alive, we'll find him.
Yeah, he's like, everyone else hike to the ridge and wait there for us. He says something to Sarah that I played back several times. I don't know what he said, and there were no subtitles offered on HBO Max for this movie. Doesn't seem that important.
Yeah.
He said something to her and then leaves. Nephew tries to take the lead, and he's like, all right, guys, let's keep it moving. Let's get going. Let's get to that ridge. And nobody budges. And then Vince Vaughn goes, all right, guys, let's get the hell out of here. And everyone's like, yeah, let's get the hell out of here. Let's do it. Yeah.
Some dude we don't know that went against our entire... Like, imagine you're one of the workers, and you find out this dude, after you spend an entire day rounding up dinosaurs, set them free, and now he's the one giving shots, and you're just taking the shots.
Shots, orders.
Yeah, but...
You know what? I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked that they did. Had they listened to the nephew, I wouldn't have liked it. I like that they ignored him and just sat there. So it's the nephew. He wants the power. He's so power hungry.
Yeah. But it seems so silly.
On Dinosaur Island, he's got no fucking pull.
Yeah.
His checkbook does nothing there.
You're right, but it does seem so silly that they did all this and no one ever got like a finger pointed at them in any type of way. You know what I'm saying? Like Vince Vaughn's walking free. Never even got yelled at, basically. Like, what the fuck?
Well, Vince Vaughn might still die. He's on Dinosaur Island.
No, you're right, but you'd think like one of the workers or someone would be like, hey, dude, fuck you, bro. I almost got killed trying to fucking put that dinosaur in that cage.
Nah. Fuck him.
Yeah.
That night, everyone except for Jeff Goldblum and the dude who was with the hunter a bunch, they're sleeping. The hunter gets back. Jeff Goldblum's like, did you find him? And he said, I found the parts that they didn't like. Control room, he like pulls up a map. He's like, control room's at the base of this cliff. We're all going to have to hike there. It's not going to be easy. He's like, let everyone sleep for 1 more hour, and then we'll start the hike.
And this is when Steven Spielberg just takes it to an all-time low. To me, personally. Like, in this film. This is probably, actually, I said this a couple times, this is probably the worst part.
We start hearing loud booms, and we see puddles shaking. Very reminiscent of the first one.
But no one awakes.
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum's just standing there. He's like, oh. Sarah... it's a fucking nightmare. Like, she just crumbs all over herself. I don't get what happened there. She sweeps them and hides them under her sleeping bag. And then and turns off she has a lantern on. She turns it off.
So we see she's a pig that just like stuffs her face at night
and fucking just lays in her own filth.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
crazy.
Yeah.
And she hits the light off and there's a T-Rex right outside. Jeff Goldblum's standing out in the open. Everyone's asleep. And then the T-Rex starts sticking its fucking face inside the tent. Jeff Goldblum's daughter's real bad actress. She wakes up and says, what is that? Ah! Like, what is that? Exactly like that. And then, ah! And Sarah covers her mouth.
And it's like, dude, what is the T-Rex not going to hear you? Yeah. Like, you can hear bugs outside. What the fuck?
Dude wakes up and screams and starts yelling in Spanish, and it causes a mass panic. Yeah. I did not see Sarah or Jeff Goldblum's daughter leave the tent.
Nope.
The T-Rex then has its face in the tent, just starts...
Well, it lifts up. It lifts the tent up and then she's like flinging the tent around, yeah.
And flings the tent over.
And everyone's running.
But then we just see Sarah and the daughter running with Vince Vaughn.
In the mix of the crowd. There's a shit ton of people running down like what is almost essentially a road.
How are they not dead?
Yeah.
How did they not get chucked in that tent from the height of a T-Rex, which it seems very tall?
I guess the tent...
getting up and running
I'm guessing
quickly?
The tent didn't have any bottom to it. It was almost like...
Show us that. I don't want your fucking guess.
No, yeah.
They had a $77 million budget. I want Steven Spielberg to show me them get out of the fucking tent.
No, yeah, you're right. I agree with you.
Yeah, not just show a tent that we saw them in get flung across a fucking campsite and then see the people in the tent running.
That's had to be what it was. It had to be that there was no
Fuck
bottom
you.
to the
Fuck
tent.
You. We're not... No. The hunter tries to shoot...
Oh,
the
yeah.
T-Rex gun, and then realizes that someone emptied his shotgun shells.
Did we see? I don't remember seeing that or anything. What was the point of that?
So
was that Vince Vaughn or someone?
It gets addressed later.
Okay.
It gets addressed later. Come on.
The
hunter tries to shoot, and someone emptied out the shells, and he's like, well, fuck. The T-Rex then chases everyone and steps on one person, and it's fun because, like, the person's stuck on the T-Rex's foot for a couple of steps. Like
that's the part when you're a kid, you're like, oh, I give this movie an A+ now.
Like a candy wrapper got stuck to his shoe, and he kind of wipes it off as he was running.
Yeah.
The hunter shoots one with the tranquilizer, and we don't see what happens. Nerdy Cowboy, Vince Vaughn, and the girls, they're hiding in a waterfall, and the T-Rex can stick its face in the front, but just starts licking them.
So this scene was also apparently
full body licks from the T-Rex.
So apparently this is like a scene from the original novel I read. But dude, it's like, what was this supposed to be like extra scary or something? Like, what's the tongue gonna add besides
sex sells, man?
That's exactly what
sex sells.
Besides some weird sex appeal.
Sex sells.
Does. And this tongue was getting freaky. It wasn't like, oh, let me kill someone. It was like
Nerdy Cowboy has a snake crawl on his shoulder, and apparently that's way scarier than a T-Rex.
Yep.
Because he runs into the T-Rex's face.
Yeah. I remember that, and that's just so stupid, dude.
The T-Rex ate him.
And all you see is blood just like mix in with the water.
Yeah, and Jeff Goldblum runs into the waterfall, and he's like, "It fed, it's gone. It's good.
Oh, yeah.
We're good, yeah.
Yeah.
A group runs into a field with tall grass, and the nephew just starts yelling, "Don't go into the high grass! Don't go in the high grass!" And we see raptors just in the high grass, like, "Oh, what's going on here?" Like
Finally,
a bunch of them. We're like, "Okay, there's the raptors." Remaining members of the raptor, they start just picking people off.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed this scene growing up. This is like, I think, one of the most
This scene was fine in the movie.
Yeah, I think this is one of the most memorable scenes of this movie. Little fun fact: they ended up planting all those plants, and they had to make for like what the scene consisted of how far they had to run through. They needed to basically quadruple it because once when they run through that grass is patted down. So if they had to do multiple takes, they need multiple of the same length of those fields. So they had they planted like 8 months prior to shooting. They grew all those plants. It's crazy though. Like sometimes the lengths that some films, but then Steven Spielberg's cutting fucking corners on all these scenes.
They could have put some of that effort into the fucking script.
Yeah, you know? To 8 months of planting plants to run through. I mean, bro.
So the remaining members of Team Jeff Goldblum, they see what happened in the grass ahead of them. They see like body parts and fucking bags that were dropped. And then I guess off to the side, the raptors are still fucking people up because they look and we hear it, we don't see it. And then Jeff Goldblum's like, all right, we got to go fast.
Yeah.
Then they sprint across the field and they make it. And they like slide down a hill at the end of it. Jeff Goldblum fucks his leg up. And Vince Vaughn's like, all right, I'm going to the control room alone. So obviously, remember when Samuel L. Jackson went to the control room alone in the first one? Yeah.
Yeah.
So Vince Vaughn's
always a smart idea.
Vince Vaughn's fucking dead. And while the girls and an injured Jeff Goldblum stay back.
Yeah.
Vince Vaughn gets to... It's a fucking trashed building with trees growing in it, and he gets scared of what is clearly a poster of a dinosaur.
Yep.
He's like, it's just a poster. It's not a real dinosaur. It's insane.
Yeah.
He then finds the radio and calls for help. Jeff Goldblum and the girls go to where Vince Vaughn is, and they're yelling out his name, and then raptors just start coming out of the woodwork. They get attacked. Sarah is, like, on the ground, and the raptors attacking her, and Jeff Goldblum's not. I mean, like, people might be like, oh, why'd they just... Well, like, what the fuck's he gonna do? Him and his daughter stand there and watch because he's not gonna go fight a raptor.
And once again, that lucky bag saved her fucking life because the raptor jumps on her back and starts attacking her bag, and she gets her arms out of the bag and keeps running with Jeff and the daughter. And that thing just sits there and starts fucking up the bag.
So at this point, Jeff Goldblum's like, all right, now I'll be the hero.
Yeah.
He's like, you guys run. I'm gonna fuck them up.
I got a leather jacket on.
And he evades them for a minute and then winds up inside a car. Sarah, they're inside a building. They dig a hole faster than the raptors dig a hole, which is infuriating.
Good.
And then Sarah, she tries to get the daughter killed. She pokes her head out and says, all right, you go first.
Yeah.
And then the daughter goes to stick her head in, and a raptor comes in through the fucking hole.
And that raptor would have got her.
For sure would have. They were fucking nose to nose.
Yeah.
That raptor would have fucked her up. And they're like, ah. And Jeff Goldblum, then the raptor's getting into the car, so he runs out of the car into the building. Sarah and the daughter are like up high. And
I keep saying
he gets they're like up near the ceiling. They climb some shit. He's up like the first level. And the daughter, he's like cornered by a raptor. The daughter then uses her gymnastic skills to drop down, do a bunch of spinny flip shits, and kicks the raptor through the wall, out of the building, and it lands with like a spike that goes through its body.
I keep saying it. I mean, this was probably by far the worst thing that could have ever been done in this film.
For
like,
sure.
She's going to hit a flippy flip and kick this fucking 1,000-pound velociraptor through the...
But, Brayden, we knew about her gymnastics training prior.
Oh, yeah.
That's why it was realistic.
That's why Steven...
Had they just done that, it would have been ridiculous.
Yeah,
but because we know that she had done
because Steven did such a good job. Yeah.
Who?
Steve, Big Steve.
Him and his daughter are down on the ground now. There are so many more raptors, but he still finds the time to be like, they really cut you from the gymnastics team at school? Like, he finds the time to be like, we're talking about this. Sarah goes, get the fuck out of here, you guys! She's like, look at all these raptors, run! And they're like, oh, that's right. So they run. God. They run and apparently just get away right away. Sarah goes through the roof and is being chased by a raptor. She, like, slides down the roof and is hanging on to the side where there's a raptor waiting for her to fall. She sees the raptor on the roof having a hard time getting his footing on the tiles.
Because it's shingles.
Yeah, like
it's like, what the fuck?
The roof tiles. So she slides the tiles so they all go off. And the raptor falls down on the ground with the other raptor. And she also falls immediately. But luckily now those raptors that were on the same team a second ago are fighting each other. Like on top of her, like ignoring her, fighting each other. And she's just able to run away.
And what's crazy is she was hanging from that roof and they were making it seem like that raptor couldn't get her. Dude, wasn't the raptors just jumping like 20 fucking feet?
Yeah. It
was just jumping 20 feet. Now it can't jump more than like 4 feet. Like
it's very
I all of a sudden have a higher vert than a fucking Go ahead, Steve. Steve's just killing me today.
Yeah. Who?
Mr. Spielberg.
Mr. Spielberg.
Yeah.
Okay. She then like falls through a wall in a building, and she falls in a way that would have killed her.
Did.
If it didn't kill her, it would have fucked her up a lot, but it didn't. And Jeff Goldblum is almost like he was waiting for that to happen.
Yeah.
Because he's standing right there. He's like, all right, good, let's go. There's a helicopter coming.
Yeah.
And we see a helicopter coming, and we see that Vince Vaughn has not had any interactions with any dinosaurs during all this time. He's just fine in the building. He's like, come on, building safe. And they go in there, and they run up some stairs, and they get in the helicopter.
That was Spielberg's big twist. He's like, last movie I had that dude died.
This movie, he's going to be fine.
He's going to be fine.
They're in the helicopter flying away, and Vince Vaughn reaches into his pocket and pulls out shotgun shells. So that's what happened there. He pulls out shotgun shells and says, that's one souvenir he won't be taking home.
Boom.
Or is it? Because then we see the hunter sitting there with an unconscious T-Rex, and it's like restrained, just like fucking clamped down on and just laying on the ground.
So a little fun fact, when they were flying away in the helicopter, the original ending to this movie was they were supposed to be attacked by ginormous pterodactyls. There's another word. It wasn't a pterodactyl, but it's basically the same thing.
I think pterodactyl.
When I was reading it, they said another name for this other big ass bird that was like the pterodactyl.
Did it start with a P, and that's why you don't think it was pterodactyl?
I don't know, honestly.
Pterodactyl is spelled with a P.
No, I don't.
I really hope that's what happened.
You know what, bro? Maybe I should look it up and see. Because if it is, then I'm just that stupid. But maybe I don't know. I don't think so. I think they called it something else. But
nope.
Gotta look.
Yeah, you made that an option. So we've got is this an easy pull up? You have it up on your computer, or is this we pause the podcast? It's gonna take you a minute.
Yeah, let's pause the podcast.
All right, guys, we're gonna pause this. We're gonna find out, and we're back, Braden.
So it's called pterodons. What's cool is it's bigger than a pterodactyl. And if you guys have seen the newest trailer for Jurassic World Dominion, in the trailer, Pratt and the other main characters are in the plane, and there's like a shadow that comes over, and he's like, "Is that another plane?" And the other girl is like, I don't think so. And then you just see this pterodon just ripping off the plane, and it's literally as big as the fucking plane that they're in. So yeah, the original ending was supposed to be with a bunch of pterodons basically attacking their helicopter or plane, whatever, probably multiple, for the way that they were going to end it, probably with these teams, so probably multiple helicopters and planes, and they were supposed to be attacking, and they were supposed to get away. Like, the main crew was supposed to get away.
That would have been a better ending.
Probably.
So the hunter's sitting there. He's not looking happy having the T-Rex. Nephew walks up, and he's like, this should be enough to open the park in San Diego. Why are you upset? You got your trophy. And he's like, yeah, my friend died. He's just like, yeah, he's like, my friend fucking died. And he's like, oh, yeah, that
guy.
He's like, well, there's a job for you at the park at San Diego if you're ever interested.
That was like the most disrespectful thing I felt like he could have said there.
He gave no fucks about that guy being there.
Yeah.
And the guy says, nah, I'm all right. I spent enough time in the company of death.
Yeah.
And then he leaves and gets on a helicopter. Sarah sees the T-Rex pinned down from the helicopter and just reaches and opens the helicopter door, which I can't imagine that the pilot would have been cool with.
Yeah.
I imagine he would be like, hey, close the fucking thing.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Stop it. Jeff Goldblum is pissed.
Yeah.
We're now back at the USA. They're at some port in San Diego. There's limos and just the works. They're all the stars are out tonight, guys.
Yeah.
Nephew's making a speech about how a fucking T-Rex is going to be there soon, and they're opening a fucking dinosaur zoo in San Diego. People are like, all right.
Wow.
That's cool. Jeff Goldblum and Sarah try to get in, but security doesn't let them.
Yeah, the guy at the gate's like, nah. He starts closing the gate, like, in front of them.
Yeah, close the gate. He's like, nah, you can't come in.
Yeah.
They're right on the water, and while Nephew's giving the speech, guy comes and grabs him. He's like, hey, I got to show you something. And this guy brings him in. The guy's running like a radar and has the radio. And he's like, here's our ship. It's going fast as fuck. But, you know, like they're not answering. They're going too fast. It's super foggy out, too.
Yeah.
And he's calling. He's telling the ship, like, hey, you got to slow down. And then Jeff Goldblum and Sarah get through security for some reason. That doesn't get addressed. We just see them walking in as if nothing happened before.
As if, like, they just went around. They do close the gate. And they just went around it.
So it's super foggy out. They keep calling the ship, telling it to slow down, and then it just crashes through the dock and into the building.
The way they shot this, all these people waiting on the dock, just waiting for this boat, and it comes in at full fucking speed. Barely anyone moved to get and like, you don't really see anyone. There's like a main building on the dock that's like that they're talking about. You don't really see anyone run out of there besides like the main dude.
Yeah, the nephew's like, let's get out of here, and then he sees it, and he's like, whoa!
And they're running out, and all you just see this boat take out that building and majority of this dock, and you're like, oh, so many people just died, but no one gives a fuck.
And the guy doing the radar, like he knew that was going to happen,
and he didn't fucking move.
You got to clear the dock, bud.
Yeah, no one screamed. No one you probably have a microphone for like speakers, like clear the dock, get away. No. Everyone had to run for their lives last second.
Got itchy nose. Oh. It was real itchy.
How's the beard? Does the beard get a little itchy ever?
No, never really.
Nice.
Never really.
Yeah. Well, it looks good, though.
Thank you.
It's coming in thick.
Thick.
Yeah.
I like thick.
Oh, yeah.
So then there's rubble everywhere, and a police officer who is played by the actor who played August fucking Marks in the show Sons of Anarchy. You guys might remember him from Lakeview Terrace. He also played a police officer in that.
Oh, he's a cop.
He fucking kills Samuel L. Jackson in Lakeview Terrace.
Dude.
August Marks. August Marks helps the nephew up, and when August Marks gets up on the boat, he sees that the crew is just fucking ripped apart. He's like, oh man, these people were in bad shape.
There's body parts everywhere. And the boat's not fucked up.
Jeff Goldblum and Sarah see a dead guy with his hand on this button that's hitting both the open and close button. Like he's hitting them both.
Like causing it to like...
It's like doing this.
Yeah.
Where the T-Rex is down in there. And Jeff Goldblum goes, everybody off the boat.
Now everyone, get off the boat, get off the dock. Now everyone do.
But then some dumbass cop comes. He's like, dude, which button do I push again, boss? And he just he fucking pulls the remote out of the guy's hand and hits open. Like, this is what I should be doing.
Yeah.
I should be... this could be a murder scene, and I'm gonna fuck with evidence.
This dude is dead.
Yeah. Like, I'm gonna pull this out of the guy's hand and hit open, and then the T-Rex just bursts up and
Steven's
starts
got
fucking things
no
up.
realistic reasoning for any of the choices that these characters make in this film. Because here's another fun fact. There was supposed to be a scene that showed raptors on the boat, which is why everyone's dead in areas of the boat that a fucking T-Rex couldn't get to when the boat's not fucked up, but these people's bodies are everywhere. And you know what? Steven was just like, fuck it.
Fuck it, they'll get it.
They'll understand. You know what? I never understood it until I read that fucking fun fact, Spielberg. So if you're listening, what the fuck? Had my mind racing for years. Like, what happened to those people? Was it the baby?
For fucking 25 years.
I was
been
thinking
freaking out
for
about
25 fucking years that the baby T-Rex somehow fixed its leg and got up and killed everyone.
So they fixed baby T-Rex's leg. Baby T-Rex was walking earlier.
Okay, well, there you go. I was thinking, okay, well, then the baby T-Rex's leg's fixed, and now he's going and murdering everyone on this boat.
So the T-Rex is chasing people, but we don't see him catch any.
Yeah, he gets out.
Jeff Goldblum walks up to nephew and says, "Now you are John Hammond."
But the way they shot it was he's sitting there, nephew's sitting in the shot to where the main part of the framing is to the back of him, to where you think something's going to come in like the T-Rex's jaws and just ply him right out of the shot, but instead it's
way worse.
It's Jeff Goldblum's fucking lips just like softly coming
Whispers.
into frame, yeah, and like whispers. Now you're John Hammond.
He's like, you wanted to be John Hammond so much?
Yeah.
Well, now you are.
Oh yeah, you are. It's kind of like a letdown.
People are in a building that's all windows and acting like a T-Rex isn't right outside. They're just kind of sitting there talking and stuff, and he doesn't do anything to them. They're just like sitting there, like shooting the shit. It's a bunch of people, and it's all windows. We can see all of them. They don't react to a T-Rex running around that building.
And then goes directly behind them and roars as loud as it can to the city, and no one reacts.
Nobody. It's a nice little shot, though.
No, it is. It is a nice
little
shot.
With the city backdrop over the water, it roars. You're like, I'm right.
Okay.
Sarah's talking about carfentanil.
But you would hear this in the city. Like, this is a T-Rex roar.
For sure, over the water.
Miles. Like, you know what's coming.
Sarah is talking about carfentanil and how awesome it is and how much she wants to get some.
Yep.
And then the dude gave the dinosaur some carfentanil, but also gave it an upper to counteract. And that must have woke the dinosaur up. And she's like, "You got any more of that carfentanil? Because I could use a little bit."
But who are they hiring to be like, oh, yeah, like, we gave it too much of this, and now we need to give it more of that? Like, because you're dealing with a dinosaur.
Yeah, like, no one knows the dough. They're just fucking eyeballing it and be like, maybe this will work. Who knows?
What the fuck?
They asked the nephew where Baby Rex is, and he says it's safe. And then Sarah and Jeff Goldblum, like, get in his face and like, where the fuck is Baby Rex?
Yeah.
And then it's just getting even more silly. T-Rex is now storming through a quiet residential neighborhood without people knows.
Yeah.
It breaks down someone's wall so it can drink from the pool water in the backyard.
And that was Spielberg's favorite shot.
We see the dog in the doghouse chained up and barking at the T-Rex. T-Rex roars at it, and it's like, oh, shit.
And
it gets back nothing. There's a kid in his bed, and he wakes up. He just calmly goes to his parents' room. He's like, there's a dinosaur in the backyard. And they're just like, what? Go back to sleep. And then he pulls the blankets off of them. And he's like, yeah, come look in the backyard. There's a dinosaur. And we see the parents there. They follow him. And they're arguing back and forth about whose fault it is they have such a shitty fucking kid.
Yeah.
They're like, it's your fault. You let him stay up and eat that junk food. That's why he pulled shit like this all the time.
It's your fault. He doesn't have a bright enough nightlight.
Like, he needs a nightlight, not this fucking fish tank. And she unplugs the fish tank. And then they look out and they see the dinosaur eating the dog.
Yeah.
And the kid's cool with it.
Oh, he loves it.
The kid's not like, oh, wow, my dog just got eaten by a dinosaur. The kid's like, that's pretty sick.
Well, I'm thinking this kid's got some fucked up issues, and he's seen some... He sees shit that no one else sees, ever. Like, it's monsters, and he's just complaining to his parents all the time about some fucked up shit. And now, finally, they're seeing something that he sees.
So he doesn't care that his dog is dead?
That's a good point.
Yeah, what a shitty kid.
That's a very good point.
Yeah. And he takes a picture of the T-Rex, and it flashes, and the T-Rex freaks
Because if Quixie
out.
was dead, bro, I would...
Quixie is dead.
Yeah, but if it got...
You guys... you that's going to be your thing? Guys, Braden had a dog that was too energetic, so they gave it to another family, and Quixie got out and was hit by a truck.
Very sad story.
Braden's dad said, fuck this dog, and he murdered it. And he's like, yeah, no, I gave Quixie to the family down the street. And then Braden one day was like, hey, can we go see Quixie? I missed that dog. And he's like, wasn't going to tell you, but Quixie got out and got hit by a car, and she's dead now, bud.
It's such a dark twist, bro.
That is what happened. That is for sure what happened.
The thing fucked up my dad's pool table, and he's like...
Yeah, Daryl was over it. He's like, I got Braden bringing his friends over who waste all our pool water. He's like, I can't kill the kid, but I can kill the dog.
I've killed for much less.
Yeah, he murdered Quixie. Jeff Goldblum then drives through the security gate at the new San Diego Jurassic Park, and they grab Baby Rex way too easily and get back. He's driving a badass, like a fucking old Pontiac convertible. It's sick.
Yeah.
And they just grab Baby Rex and put it in the back of his car. Security comes up. He's pointing guns at him. Like, what the hell do you think you're doing? And he says... We're taking the kid. You can shoot us if you want, but we're taking the kid. And then he just backs out, and the guy does nothing.
Yeah, it sounded like Jeff said that before.
They do. This person, they don't know who he is.
No,
they don't know that the nephew was like, let him come. I told him that the Baby Rex is there. We're gonna try and get the.
Yeah, why would you say it like that?
They like that guy. In his mind, that dinosaur's worth millions of dollars. It is his job to make sure this exact thing doesn't happen. And he's just like,
yeah,
touche.
All right,
take the kid. It's insane.
Yeah.
Gets even sillier though.
Always does.
There's people crashing and flipping cars and running away from the T-Rex. The T-Rex fucks a bus up and sends it crashing into a Blockbuster.
Yeah.
It then chases some Asian businessmen through the streets because Godzilla.
Bro, literally, like, Steven Spielberg apparently went on record and was like, yeah, I wanted to make, like, a Godzilla feel in this movie.
Yeah.
And I want to see the T-Rex drink from a swimming pool. Like, those were his two conditions to signing on to this film.
It shows. It shows that that's all he cared about.
Yeah.
They're trying to wake up Baby Rex because they're like, it's got to make some noise so Big Rex knows we have him. And then Jeff Goldblum, like, Big Rex just kind of gives him a look, and he's like, oh, Big Rex no.
Oh, he fucking
Big
knows.
Rex knows. Now he's driving, and Big Rex is chasing them.
Yeah,
and
that
Rex.
initial shot, it looked like that T-Rex was going to catch him. But then the next shot, they have somehow, and this is...
Goldblum drives like a fucking champ.
Well, but it doesn't show it. Steve. Spielberg does not show it. They're reversing first as the T-Rex is running straight at them. Next shot, they're spun around. You don't see them spin around. They're spun around, and they're like 50 feet in front of T-Rex when T-Rex is like right next to him. Mm-hmm. I'm like, how the fuck did they get that much further ahead of this T-Rex? That's
what Pontiac does, baby.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm like 90% sure it was a Pontiac. I could be way off. Someone's gonna be like, "Well, it was a fucking blah, 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 blah." I think it was a Pontiac. It was like an old, like, 60s, 70s Pontiac.
Some car wizard's about to put you in your spot.
Or I'm going to be fucking right. And they'll be like, yeah, David gets it.
Oh.
David knows his Pontiacs.
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum begrudgingly crashes through a warehouse because the water's on the other side and they need to get to where the boat is. And he's like, fuck, and it does it. And then as they're getting out and running, Big Rex crashes through the warehouse too. They run past Nephew's car while Nephew's on the phone saying, fucking shoot it. Not the baby. I want the baby brought back alive. You shoot the big dad T-Rex. And then he sees them run by with Baby Rex, and he gets out and follows Jeff Goldblum and Sarah onto the boat. He's yelling. He's like, I want Baby Rex. Give me Baby Rex. And Jeff Goldblum and Sarah clearly are not holding it anymore. So they dropped it off somewhere.
Yeah. And
they jump off the side of the boat into the water. And then he hears Baby Rex down in the holding area that it was in earlier. Or I don't know if Baby Rex was down there. Big Rex was. was down there earlier, and he goes down, and he, like, has it cornered, and he's like, I'm going to catch you. I'm going to fucking go, whoa, 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 whoa. And Big Rex slowly and quietly comes up behind him without him hearing. I feel like that boat would be rocking crazy.
Crazy for one. And then it's like, dude, the baby T-Rex is like 4 feet tall, like 3-4 feet tall. This thing's bigger than a dog. You're going to tell me you're going to play fetch with this fucking dog? With this, or this...
Absolutely.
This thing could probably fuck him up, which...
So... Which what?
Which you'll take away.
But why say that? Which I'll let David say. Because now I just look like your messenger boy. I'm like, yeah, Mr. Bullard wants me to say that. No, what happened?
So
you take us home.
Yeah. The T-Rex comes up. He notices a fucking T-Rex right behind him now because Steven Spielberg forgot T-Rexes make a bunch of noise when they walk up anywhere. And then the T-Rex bite... well, let me say this. He tries to run past the T-Rex like a fucking idiot. There's probably like a corner. He probably could have somehow maybe...
No. He knows every square inch of that boat. That was his only way.
You think?
No.
Oh.
Go on.
Oh, you just... Okay. So I personally felt like this dude could have hid in the corner and maybe have like not been able to be attacked by the main father. But no. Tries to run right past the T-Rex. T-Rex grabs him by his fucking leg, bites him, and throws him at the baby T-Rex. And now he's literally teaching the baby T-Rex how to hunt and kill. So,
and Baby Rex follows suit, kills him, eats him.
Yeah, it's crazy. This dude was trying to physically grab this baby T-Rex that literally was capable of eating him on its own.
So Jeff Goldblum now runs up, and he's dripping wet because he was just in the water.
Which I felt like was unnecessary. What'd you feel about that? You felt like...
I felt fine. Like,
okay.
Make sure Big Rex doesn't notice us at all.
Yeah, I feel that.
Hits the button to close the door and keep Big Rex and Baby Rex in there. Big Rex notices and starts sticking its head out. There is a fucking helicopter, and the guy has a gun. He's about to shoot Big Rex. And Sarah instead shoots Big Rex with a tranquilizer, and Big Rex slowly just goes down.
And she's lucky because the T-Rex made this motion with its face to where the dart came and goes right here. So if he didn't move his face at that exact pace, he would have just got like stuck in the fucking eye or some shit with that thing.
I think that still would have put it down, though.
Maybe, yeah.
She's got no loyalties to Big Rex.
I guess.
If she blinds it in one eye, that means nothing to her.
Bounces off the tooth. Oh, that sucked.
So now it's down. Jeff Goldblum, Sarah, and the daughter are watching CNN. And they're following, the boat's going back to the island. And John Hammond comes on saying, he's like, we got to let the dinosaurs live on the island by themselves. They're going to be fine. We got to stop interfering, let them do their thing, and life will find a way. We then see all the dinosaurs chilling on the island. What I thought was a pterodactyl, it might have been a pterodon.
Yeah, probably.
First time we see one. It flies up, which they're badass. I wish they would have been featured in this a lot more.
Yeah.
Lands on a tree branch and gives like a
yeah,
noise.
That's probably why they ended it on the pterodactyl or the pterodon, because that was supposed to be the final scene, and there was like none in the movie whatsoever until then.
Yeah, and then they made up for it with that.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, this is so cool. The end. Guys, do me a favor. Don't go watch this.
Yeah.
And we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back to talk about an actually good movie that we'll be doing next week. So stick around. And we're back.
Look at that.
Guys, thanks for sticking around while we broke down that dumpster fire of a movie.
Yep.
But Braden, you know what movie is not even a little bit of a dumpster fire?
Dude, The Nutty Professor.
Nutty Professor, guys, you don't see any dumpsters or any fires in that whole fucking movie, all right? They fire on all cylinders. No dumpster, no fire. The Nutty Professor. You know what else? The movie we're doing next week, Training Day.
Yeah.
With Denzel Washington and Ethan Hawke.
Fuck yeah.
Where I'll get to say the N-word about 82,000 times, even though I won't say it. I'll say my N-word. And that's what it's going to be.
Whatever's most appropriate.
Yeah. I'm stoked to do Training Day.
Yeah. Training Day is a great film.
I could not be more stoked to do Training Day.
And if you guys haven't seen Training Day, definitely go watch it.
Well, if they want to watch Training Day before we do a podcast on Training Day, They should watch Training
They
Day
should,
before we do a podcast on Training Day.
But where,
Brayden,
can they?
why would you feel the need?
We have on your thing.
We have a thing at the end here. That'd be like if I just start saying, "And guys, you can watch every motherfucking Monday." The end. Like if I didn't let you do that, I just start jumping in. So guys, you want to watch Training Day before we do a podcast on Training Day next week?
I bet you do. Oh, I did it again.
Hey guys, you want to watch Training Day before we do a podcast on Training Day? You should watch Training Day before we do a podcast on Training Day. Here's where you can watch Training Day before we do a podcast on Training Day. It's available on HBO Max, which thank God. That's fucking makes it so much easier.
Who doesn't have HBO Max?
Yeah, you should if you don't. If you don't, you do now. Go get it. It's available on HBO Max, Fubo TV, Philo, YouTube. Those were all with subscriptions. You can watch them.
Yeah.
It's available on YouTube, Google Play, Apple TV, Vudu, or Amazon Prime for $3.99.
Nice.
Guys, Training Day. Go watch it. And guys, we're doing, we did Jurassic Park 2, The Lost World, because that's Braden's pick.
Yeah, I just love Jurassic Park,
We're doing Training Day, because that's my pick. Guys, next week we're doing a listener/viewer request. And Braden, like, let's say someone's watching this right now, and they're like, oh, man, I loved hearing them. Jurassic Park sounds like an awful movie, but I loved hearing them break it down.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear them break down Training Day.
Yeah.
But I want them to do my favorite movie.
Oh,
Braden,
easy.
what can they do? How can they tell us they want us to do their favorite movie?
David, they can just hit us up at our Instagram, 56Kings, or our email.
What do you do?
What?
Why are you butchering this right now?
What do you mean? What did I do?
They can hit us up on our Instagram.
Yeah,
At
56Kings.
You mean at?
Yeah.
FIVESIXKING?
S.
Dude, we've been doing this almost a year, and this has been a thing.
Yeah. Or
Or
they can just email us at the 56Kings@gmail.com.
you mean at FIVESIXKING
S
at gmail.com?
Yeah.
Woof, guys.
That easy.
With options that easy, why wouldn't you?
Yeah. You can't go wrong.
They know where to reach out to us, and they know where to watch or listen to the episodes. Mm-hmm. But when? When do they watch or listen to our new episodes?
Every motherfucking Monday.
Every motherfucking Monday, we're bringing you new episodes of the 5-6 Kings.
Bet your sweet ass.
Guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I love you all very much, and we'll see you next week.
Peace out.
Palm Beach County, that's where I'm from. When niggas get gunned down and left slump, we don't just for fucking round. This ain't the county for you bitches to come around. Okay, it's 5, 6, 1.